sass in every way. Talking fast, not a pause in sight. Leanie's got my head in a spin tonight. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Podcast queen with a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. With a wicked smile, running jokes mile after mile. Try to speak, but in she slides. Leanie makes it a wild ride. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me in. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. Oh, shut up, Leanie, can't you see? You talk so much, it's drowning me. With your white hair and sassy flair, just give me a breath, let me share. Oh, Leanie, don't get me wrong, can't imagine your life without your song. But girl, you've gotta let me. This ain't just your show to win. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day. So here I stand with my mic in hand, trying to keep this show as planned. Leanie laughs, guess it's gonna stay a little secret every day.
Hello, 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 hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Maggie. Uh-oh.
Hi, everybody.
Uh-oh.
it's me, Lee. I'm hitting the like. Thought I'd hit the like while I was here.
Hurry up and hit that like and then turn that off.
That's off. I'm all done.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here.
Hello, everyone.
Lunch lady, Ann's place. Lizzo.
Carry on.
The snakes in the bushes.
Everyone listening and watching.
Hi, Kevin. How are you? Good to see you.
Hi,
I hope you're
dear.
doing well. Good to see you guys. Thanks for being here. We will wait a few more minutes for other people to come in. Hopefully, if not, we'll just get started. That's fine because we're here. We're here.
What are you?
Maggie, I'm going to tell you something right now. Girl, we got some storms rolling in and out. So if I happen to pop off, you guys know that the storms have cut off my electric.
Oh, I thought you meant about the COVID case.
No. No, we really do. It's weird because once that warm weather starts coming through, we get tornado warnings like insane. So
really?
that's what happened. Yeah, it was really cold this morning. Then all of a sudden the heat started coming through and that makes for good tornado weather.
Oh, no. So is it being warm today?
Yeah, it's been warm.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah. Oh, God. Hope you're all right then, Lee. If you go missing, we know where you've gone. and let us know
I'm
you're okay.
going to Kansas
Oh,
on
lovely.
a tornado. Woo, taking my dogs with me.
If that would be me now, I'd be biting my nails and everything. You're not interested, you're used to it.
Anne says, "Wonder who's hiding in those bushes, tripping people who wants to get in here."
We'll go and find out, and quick, leg it over to the bushes.
Lag it over, girl. Lag it over. There's only maybe one or two snakes up there right now. They'll be here. No worries. We switch from cool weather to ridiculously hot. Well, we haven't had ridiculously hot yet, but he's down in Texas.
You
Kevin's
were
in Texas.
absolutely freezing, wasn't you? Was it yesterday?
Yeah, it was 28 degrees yesterday. It was freezing my ass off.
Oh my God.
And today it's 75, but it doesn't feel like 75. I'm still walking around in a sweat jacket. It doesn't feel like 75. It feels because the wind is cooler. Hi, sunshine.
Hiya, sunshine.
Our sweet Idaho friend.
Do you remember everyone? I forget. I'm terrible.
Well, I remember when Sunshine first came in, and before I ever had a channel, this Koberger case happened, and she told me she was from Idaho. I said, "Girl, I'm coming over," and so I always remember where Sunshine's at, and her mom lives in California, and she goes back and forth to see her mom.
Oh God, I'm amazed up for you remembering.
I know,
if it was down to me, it wouldn't be happening. My brain has gone west.
Anne says we're experiencing an unheard of long time with only cloudiness every day. Hiking with Jackie Boy's been hiking in 95-degree weather. Negative. Would I ever be doing that? Ever?
God.
A day in my life.
Welcome to my world, love. Welcome to my world. If you get a bit of sunshine, Leanie will tell you, I'm out them Windsors looking one crack of sun and I'm gone. I'm gone.
Yeah. All we got to do is check the weather. If I forget to check it, I ask Lizzo or something, what the weather's like. I know where Mags is at. Sunshine has the last 2 days, they got snow. Wow. It's so amazing.
Oh my God. Do you know what? The world, it's globally, it's gone berserk. Everyone's getting strange weather. Strange weather. And did you know when I went to Turkey 3 days before that, they were saying they had hailstorms there.
Oh, come on, really?
Massive. Did you get anything like that? Honestly, he was showing me on a video. It was the taxi driver that picked us up from the airport.
Oh,
He said,
wow.
"Good job you weren't here 3 days ago." And the hail balls were huge.
It was hailing earlier. When little girl and Newt first woke up to go to the bathroom, and they went. Yep, they went out and they didn't leave the back porch. They were like, "Nope, that stuff hurts," because it hurts when if it's coming down really hard.
If you don't want it.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't half hurt you.
Anne says no, but they got snow when you suddenly came. They haven't had any till 4 years, and then you brought snow.
Don't tell me you got snow when I was there. It was roasting in Antalya. Get over there, girl. Oh my God. Well, they had hail really bad. They said it was freezing. They were all made up though.
See, it doesn't hail here when it's cold. I think I've only seen it hail once when it was snowing outside, and I don't even remember what that was about. But it's when that heat rolled in here, and the hail started. So I was like, "Ah, shit, gonna get some tornadoes. We're gonna get some naders."
Oh my God, God help you. Do you know what? Even though we're used to hail, I mean, not like all the time, but we do get it quite a bit. We still all look out the window going,
"Oh,
because it's white everywhere. It just comes gushing down.
Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I used to run out there and grab it and eat it. And now you can't do that because all the shit they put in our air, they're killing us.
You know what's in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, Gail.
Lunch ladies, 87 degrees there today. It's insane.
So is that hot? Are we talking?
Yeah, it's hot. So 87.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see what 87 is. 87 and
Hope you're all right, Lunchy. Hope you got on okay, Gail.
that's 30.56 degrees in Celsius.
S- So,
30.
who was I talking to in Fahrenheit and it was freezing when they said 33s? Who was I talking to? Can't remember. Oh, it was Wild Angel the other day when you just got off and we were talking about this insane weather. And she said it
Mm,
was freezing there, 33 Fahrenheit. So that's 33, yeah, 33 degrees. What is
hmm
it? I don't know. No, it wasn't. Can't remember.
That was probably like 12 to you guys. 12.
No, we worked it out. It was -4.
Oh,
Minus something, yeah, it was cold or something.
oh, could you imagine, you guys? A couple years ago, when well, Indiana we were at -22.
Oh, I
When
can't believe
our
that because that is awful. We're freezing at -2.
yeah, it was -22 when
My
and
God.
our pipes had busted it at work. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Oh, God, I can't imagine it being that cold. I
Oh
just
God,
think
it
what
was
it'd
it
be
was
like. I'm
terrible.
shivering now at the thought.
It hurts literally to go outside. It hurts your
Oh, your
skin.
ears, your ears. How'd you go out for a ciggy, like?
No, you wear a hat,
What's up to? I was
cover
just
your
going to ask
ears.
you the same thing, Anne. I was little girl now. Was she eating in that?
Nope, she's still eating peanut butter sandwiches, but she's drinking more water
She's
now.
got you taped, Gail. She's got you taped.
And I have to hand feed her if she's going to eat like dog kibble. I have to hand feed it to her. She doesn't want it. She looks at me with the saddest eyes, and it's terrible. And even the wet food, the
It's
wet dog
terrible.
food, she doesn't want anything to do with it. But we're gonna
Shame,
get
'cause she
there.
can sense the storm. Do you think?
Oh, she don't even give a damn about that. Was
Is
Cheyenne.
it
Cheyenne
Newt?
was one. No,
Oh, I thought
Cheyenne was the
Newt.
one that was scared of the storm. Newt's not scared of no storm.
No, I
Little
mean, do you know it's coming?
Oh,
Is
they
that why
know it's
the
coming. Yeah. Yeah, they'll
oh,
know it's coming. Yeah.
oh, oh God, I wonder when it's gonna come, like. Be terrified if I was you.
Oh no. No, no, no. I'm good. I'm good.
When you say a storm, you mean oh
It
God,
could be thunder, just when I
yeah.
say storm, I'm talking at least it's thunder and lightning
I
and
mean thunder
sometimes
when you say
tornado.
storm, yeah. I
Hmm
love watching thunderstorms. And my
Oh,
mother was absolutely petrified of it. She'd get in the we used to have a cupboard that went under the stairs, a big cupboard. She used to
hmm
climb in the cupboard, terrified. She used to sit in there. She wouldn't have the door open. He was
my
petrified, but she reckons it came from when she was in the war. A sister had shout out or something
oh
when
yeah.
something had been hit, and she reckons it was from that, from the war.
Yep, you're probably right. You're
hmm
probably right.
So
Well,
hi to
Mac,
Jackie.
I'm sorry, go
It,
ahead.
sorry, love. It is 86 degrees, 86 Fahrenheit, 30 Celsius today. Oh my God, that's hot.
Yeah,
Oh
that's too hot
God.
for me. I
Oh
mean,
God.
this 75, I'm good with right now. I'm good because I've got sweatpants on, a sweatshirt on, and a sweat jacket on, so I'm good.
Oh.
But it's cool. The wind is cool to me, and I just drink a hot cup of coffee, so that warmed me up a little bit.
Mm.
But listen, thank you guys for being here. If you don't mind hitting the like for us, we appreciate it so much. I know Maggie has been deep diving the Koberger case, sending me all kind of stuff, most of it I've already seen,
She
but
ignores me. She ignores me, guys. I send it, get all excited, and I think, oh, wonder if Leanie's seen this. Of course, fucking Leanie's seen it. I send it. She doesn't even comment anymore. She just ignores it. So I go, she's seen that. So I send her
yeah.
something else. She doesn't comment. She's seen that. So I've had no comments. So she's seen them all.
Well, I
Take
want
it
you to
now.
keep going with it. I want you to keep going with it. So just like I'm having to do for, you've got me on this Madeline Soto thing. I mean, I'm watching every fucking thing I can find on it.
Oh,
And
girl.
and I'm so far behind you, so I
Really,
can't
you don't.
wait till you do
Oh
a live
no,
on that.
you've just got to. Well, do you know what? See, my memory is chaotic. So I couldn't do a live on it. I just have to do a panel where we can all talk about it and
That's what
what
I
we all
mean.
think.
Yeah, do a panel.
Because as for giving info and stuff like that, I'd go, oh, did that happen? And I really know, but I forgot.
Mm.
Got me,
I
honestly, my memory is
just
that badly.
I just watched early this morning the interview the parents did with Nancy Grace. Not Nancy Grace, I'm sorry. Um uh hidden true crime
I know. I don't know. I
with
forget the names,
Lauren.
but I know I've
Yeah.
seen it. But you've got a lot to see. Yeah. What did you think of the parents? Tell me what you think.
Um well, I try to put myself in their shoes.
Yeah.
Um how I would feel if it was my son, because at first, like,
Yeah.
I felt like mom was being mom and that's her baby boy, and dad
Yeah.
was being like, no, this is shit. And we
Mm,
didn't raise him like this.
yeah.
And then at the end, when she was talking about how, they will always support their son and stuff. And I just looked at the TV, and gave him that growl look like,
Mm,
what the fuck? But
yeah.
then I was obviously making coffee and I was like, oh, but how would I be if it was my child?
No, well,
I,
it gets
I
worse.
wouldn't,
It gets
yeah.
worse. And I felt exactly the same. I thought, oh God, really put yourself in their position. You know,
Hmm.
what he did, I mean, I don't know. It just gets worse. She turns around and says, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. She turns around and says it was Maddie's time.
Yeah, I did
They
hear
did
her say
say
that
that
too,
on
and
the
I
call.
was like, and they're
Mm,
mad that well, that's another life. That's another life. Let's
yeah.
do this
Oh
one, and
God,
then
yeah. I will.
we'll schedule a Maddie
Yeah.
Soto discussion.
Yeah.
Anne says, Leanie, I discovered I got 4 copyright claims on my own songs. Then I learned this guy claiming to be a scammer has bots putting random claims on people's stuff. That happened to us when Lunch Lady first started writing
Mhm.
our music here. I remember coming on a live one night and I had gotten a little slap on the hand with the copyright saying that, and I was pissed. I wrote to YouTube in studio and told him no, 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 no. And I mean, everybody was pissed in chat that night. Everybody was like researching it and stuff. And YouTube also told me that there are people out there that claim it and then they have to look into it. And I was like, well, look into it before you freak me out. But I mean, she owns the right to those songs. Those words are hers. So we were all really shitty with that. So yeah, it got
Mm.
removed as well. Um, Me and Beth are researching playing devil's advocate to prove Koberger innocent. And when we have enough evidence, we will come on panel. I love that. I will love that.
And she says there, I hate to say it, but I'm positive he's going to war. And after I seen something today, I got a bit of my stomach turns over a little bit, and I thought, please don't. And I forget
What?
what it was now.
Oh, Lizzo, so you can't throw that out and not come talk to us about it. Because I want to know exactly what makes you think
Oh,
he's going to walk, because I absolutely do not. I think this is
oh,
hands down.
about these experts. They think these experts are going to have to fight it out about him and saying they're saying that he wasn't near, he wasn't casing. The word they used was casing, which is
Mm-hmm.
stalking and taking.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't stalking the house or anything like that. He was just in the vicinity, blah blah blah. And one was saying he was pinging off the TT. Is it the T-Mobile network or something? And the other ones were saying no, it can be proved. So they said there's going to be a hearing on the 9th,
Mm-hmm.
and you think it's going to come down to 2 experts fighting this out.
So one of the experts is Cy, what's his last name? Can't think of it right now. Just think Cy's a kind of weird name, but um so what had happened with that is the prosecution gave him some files on it. And this is before he the defense had ever
Yeah.
talked to him. FBI had reached out to him
Mhm.
and, asked him about this stuff. And he was like, no, there's no way this could happen or that could happen. Well, then it ended up proving to him that he was wrong. And something that he was telling the FBI, and the FBI just was like, dude, we can't work with you. Like, that's not, they were filling him
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Well, then he went over to the defense, and the defense picked him up as a witness, as an expert witness. But here's the problem. It's all in one of the motions. Cyray, thank you so much. It's all in the motions. If you read the motion of that part, that they're, if you read oh, sorry, I can't think. If you read the motion that was set before the court, in the paperwork, it talks about how you have to like really read what he's saying in there, and he actually corrects himself in what the prosecution is saying. So you need to go back, just read the part of where it's talking about him and how the FBI had talked to him first and was thinking about hiring him, because these guys are hired, they get
I
paid.
did see something like that, Lee. I did read something like that. But oh God, I wish my brain could take in more. I'm trying to even think where I seen it, where I watched it. I was watching that much, trying to get some info. Liz, out to you now. Hiya, Sean.
Hi, Joni. Hi, Sean. Aloha.
Hey, Joni.
Um,
God, where did I see it?
oh man, Lizzo.
It's on none of the clips that I sent now. Oh, I don't know.
Damn, Lizzo. Just Becca. Hello,
Hiya, Beck.
sweetheart. I think it's a hands down case. I just do.
I
I
did
think,
too. Until
yeah,
that.
I think, listen, and Lulu brought it up when we were talking about it. If Delphi, where there is no DNA, now I understand, you guys, that these are different states, and different states have their own thing going on and how they do things. And so, like in Indiana, we can say stalking. In Idaho, they don't use the term stalking because it isn't a term there in the judicial system, right? So it is casing. They don't use the word stalking. So here we use it. Did I read anything about the BK sister calling the tip line? I have heard, but I haven't seen anything concrete on that. But I have heard that some are saying that BK sister's the one that turned him in. Yeah.
Did you hear that his family are going up on the stands?
Lizzo, I have a lot of problems listening to Truth and Transparency. There was a case she was doing way before I found all you guys, and I was over there in the true crime community. And I'm not going to bring up the case or anything like
I
that,
think
that
I
she
knew what you mean.
she was covering, and it was disgusting. It was disgusting, everything she was saying.
I knew what you
And
mean.
she was lying her ass off. She had her facts all wrong.
Mhm.
And so I turned her off. I was like, there's no way. If you're going to present this as facts, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe everything that came out of her mouth. And then all the stuff she was involved in with other creators and shit that was going on. It was terrible. And that's all I have to say about that. So, and let's face it, there's a couple of true crime people out there that, for the most part, it doesn't matter what case is being put forth, they're going to be on the side of the defense. I don't know if you guys have realized that or not, but there's some creators out there. It doesn't matter what case is going on, they're on the side of the defense. It doesn't matter. And some creators, it doesn't matter what case is going on, they're on the side of the prosecution. There are some people out there that believe everything's a conspiracy. So I think listen, I said it in the beginning of this way back, but this is our 10th week of doing this. I said this way back. Whatever you think, if you think he didn't do it, you can find anything on the internet that will tell you he didn't do it. If you think he did do it, you can find anything on the internet that says he did do it. The internet is made up of nothing but opinions, theories. I mean, even some things that are called as truth may not be truth. You know, it may have a form of truth. It's like me and Maggie could be sitting in the courtroom and we would both see two different things and hear it said two different ways. And we've listened to the exact same thing and seen the exact same thing. And that's what a theory and that's what an opinion is, right?
Like
That's why
Dylan Mortensen, that she's had here, that how she's seen it.
Yeah.
She's describing what she's seen in her way. Oh,
Yeah.
I said,
No,
I mean,
Lizzo,
I'm forward with it.
I am so glad that you're coming in from a different way. I am so glad about that because, you know, we haven't had anybody up here and I have tried my best. Like when I went over all of the parts when I went over everything that we know factually that points him in the direction of being the killer. One by one, I tried to give examples, you know, like on his behalf. Like, sure, if you ski, you're going to own a mask. Sure, if you're a hunter or fisher, you might own one of them knives. I try to do that, but you just can't ignore the totality. You just can't.
That's what swayed me when I heard all that. I thought, because at first I was thinking, oh God, now, as you know, it was, but then I just thought, no, there's too much pointing to him. There's too much evidence against him that's proven. So, but you know, I think it's right to not just go in and go, yeah, he's done it. No, he hasn't.
Mhm.
You've got to look at
Right.
both sides to find, you know, what way you're comfortable thinking that, you know, that's it. He's either not guilty or he is, you know. It's hard, isn't it? If you're fair, it is hard.
It is, and I would rather, you know, when it all first happened, like and people were throwing out names like the guy at the food truck, and then the ex-boyfriend, and the bar owner, and all the I was side eyeing everybody, and then
Yeah.
I was like on the train, like, yeah, they're guilty. Let's go, they're guilty. I'm showing Beefcake. Look at this. You think they're guilty? Yeah, they're
Yeah.
guilty. And then I would wait until I heard something from the police or from the family. And sometimes both of them. And
It
then I'm
is
like,
easy though, isn't
look,
it?
then I have to block them out, you know, and keep going with
Yeah.
the next one. So I too did that. But here's the deal. In my way of looking at it, there's too much stacked against this man that's concrete evidence. And there isn't showing anything else that another perpetrator could be involved in this crime. There's no evidence that they have on this crime that they could point at someone else. That we have this evidence, but it doesn't fit him. You know what I mean? So there's the problem I have with it. Did you listen to Kaylee's dad new interview? He said BK left evidence under the blanket, under Maddie, which is a little different than what has been said. Okay.
What he's hidden, is it?
The thing about the sheath, though, some people have said when it first came out about the sheath, if you guys remember, it said that it was found under her body, that the sheath was found under her body. And then people started saying it was found next to her body. So I don't know. I have always said I really, really hope that there is more DNA that of solely Brian Koberger's, that it'll just be a slam dunk. But my fear now is that with all of these motions coming before the court of what they're going to allow the jury to hear and not hear, I think we would have heard something about some other DNA. So I don't think there's any more DNA. I think that's it. Because the problem I have is that it has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. And with the death penalty being on the table, I think that will tip the balance for him walking. Well, look, his defense team is not even trying anymore to say he's not guilty. They're just trying to get the death penalty taken off the table because they know. I mean, the evidence that's against this man is overwhelming. When is the last time you guys seen a case like this where there is so much video, so much cell phone usage and cell phone towers and receipts and DNA? And I mean, when have you seen this much evidence?
Yeah.
And the evidence is being proven. That's what the deal is. So the girl draws a picture, right? She draws a picture of this face. They say, all right, draw us a picture of what the mask looks like. Lo and behold, they go and they start pulling receipts on his card, whatever he's charging, and finds that same damn mask he's already ordered. Right? And then they know that it must be a K-bar knife because there's a K-bar sheath left on the bed next to the victim. Oh my God. Now they're pulling evidence from his Amazon account that shows he bought a knife, a sheath, and a sharpener. Okay. And then they're pulling all this surveillance evidence from not just one camera, all these cameras. And oh my God, it shows a white Elantra without a front license plate. How many white Elantras are driving around Moscow without a front license plate at that time of night? What would be the odds? Please tell me, anybody. Do you see what I'm saying?
I'm just looking something up, like on.
Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where I'm going with this? I think the totality of all of this is they are proving that everything that they've looked at the crime scene, they are proving that it's connected to him through transcripts, through videos, through receipts, through socials. We don't even know about what's on the socials yet. What are you going to do when it comes back that he did send her a message? What is everybody going to do about that? And that she didn't respond to him. What are we going to do if it comes back that one of them waited on him at the restaurant and that he frequented and he was creepy there? What are we going to do if we find out that some of these girls, one of these girls, or all of these girls had an OnlyFans and he was paying for pictures? Thought about that? It's a well-known fact that I don't know what the percentage is. I'd like to find out that a lot of girls pay for their college through OnlyFans. Maybe not student loans, but pay for their college, pay for extra food, pay for partying, pay for new clothes, pay for the look, pay for an apartment. But the mask could just be a generic ski mask, balaclava, that a lot of people, exactly, it could. But I'm asking, what are the chances? What are the odds that Dylan Mortensen draws a face mask on this guy? And then when they start getting in receipts, oh my God, the same exact face mask that she would draw and that she would describe, he bought one.
Yeah.
Along with the same exact knife that they believe to have killed these students. You see what I'm saying? You got to put, I feel like I'm just going over it and over and over. And I'm not trying to argue the point. I'm just saying In each instance, the face mask, yes, anybody could own one of those. Who cares? If you ski, you're going to own one. Okay. If you're a hunter and a fisher, you might own a K-bar. Hell, there might even be 2 white Elantras that drive around that time of night without a front license plate. I'm going to say I doubt it, but
Did
when you
they
put it,
find the balaclava, Leanie? Or was that just what
no,
she
it's going to be
described
gone.
and they found the receipt of
That's
it?
what,
So,
yes,
yeah, and just because Leanie's, Liz is saying the be blood or DNA. Well, no, he hasn't got it.
no, all
Lizzo,
of the stuff that he wore in that
that
house
was
is
just the
gone.
receipt. Yeah, just the
It's just
receipt
the
for
and
it.
that's mhm.
And what Dylan Mortensen seen, what she described, what he was wearing. Sorry, Lee.
Right, but that's
If I hadn't have said that, I forgot.
no, I'm glad you did. Um, see, Lizzo, that's why I need you up here talking to me. But anyways,
Come
so
on, Liz.
yeah, Liz, I definitely could see where you're going. I could make, like I said, I can make an argument for every piece of evidence that's stacked against him in its alone version. But when you put it all together, nobody's that unlucky. There's not that much consequence. No, they haven't found the balaclava. Why do I want to call it baklava? Isn't that a
Balaclava.
balaclava? No, they haven't found it.
No.
They just got the receipt from Dick's Sporting Goods
Mm.
that he bought one.
Any idea why you went to Costco? I was listening today, but forgot to go back to it. On the
No.
13th of November last year. They found out now why you went there.
Why was it?
I don't know. I never went back to it. But if you give me 2 minutes, I'll listen. And I'll see if I can find something else.
Yes,
Okay.
Lizzo. Maggie's actually put one up here. Let's look at it. So if you look at this before, hold on, Big Daddy. I have to stop it when it goes back through.
I'm not sure if the license plate
Yes,
is.
it is.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
You
But
could
just see it
stop
there.
it right there,
Yeah.
and it shows the license plate. Just call it a ski mask. Thank you, Miss Joni. See, it's right there. You could just stop it right there and get his license plate. All right. So,
So we went to Costco 11:59 a.m. after the murders. I'm still listening.
11:59 a.m., right?
Yeah, just let me go back again and check.
My husband and son collect knives, hundreds of them, and they hunt and fish. Ask my husband, and they don't have a K-bar. My husband actually said, "Why would I need something like that?" I should ask my brother, because I forgot my brother collects knives, and so did because where did I get that knife from? My sister-in-law's husband, who passed away, he collected knives, and she had given me. I don't know why oh no, she gave it to my son-in-law. This huge nice knife. It wasn't a K-bar, it was this weird big knife. And he was like, "Mom, I don't want," it was at a Christmas party or something. He's like, "Mom, I don't want this. Like, I got a little girl in my house." And I was like, "Just give it to you." Y'all dropped it in my first purse and forgot it was in there. I mean, this thing was a honker. It was huge. And so when my brother and I were together, he got on the subject of his knife collecting. And I was like, oh, and I went and got the knife out of my bag. And I was like, Blue, do you have one of these? And he's like, no. And I told him where it came from. And I said, do you want it? Because I'm going to throw it away. I mean, what am I going to do with this thing? And he's like, heck yeah, I want it. So I need to ask him if he's got one. But, a lot of people do have them. On the video of his
Okay.
car on the night of the murders, is there any clear footage that shows his license plate? I think on one of them, actually, for sure, the Linda Lane one does show his license plate. And that's why they're saying just one of those was him, and there must have been another white car out there. It's in the motions. What did you say, Max?
Yeah, it was the morning of the murders, 11:59 a.m. He was seen on Costco surveillance. He was in Costco.
Wonder if was he buying cleaning supplies?
I'm
I'd be
just
curious
gonna
to
have
know
a
what he was
listen now.
wearing.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
he
his
wearing
dad's
the
gonna come
same
out,
thing?
isn't he?
Wouldn't it
Let me
be?
have a listen. Let me have a listen.
Oh,
I'll come
excuse me.
back.
I think it would be good if he was wearing the same clothes that he's taken a picture in, which if he would have to
Oh
be,
my
because the
God.
picture was
Yeah.
10:30 something, and then he's in Costco at 11:59.
11:59.
So is he buying chemicals to go back and clean the apartment because he went and
Wait,
took a
let me
shower?
find out. Watch this space. Dun, dun, dun.
Joni, wow. Yeah, knives have always scared me. All right, Lizzo, I brought up something about that. That's actually, I'm glad you said that because Maggie is going to present something here after she gets done listening to what she's listening to. I'm just going to let her present this. And then I did bring up some stuff. Right. Yeah, I'm curious about that too. There had to be DNA somewhere, but remember, they didn't arrest him for how many 5 weeks? Wasn't he? I think he was, yeah, 5 weeks. So he had plenty of time to clean. So it's not to say it's not to say that maybe there wasn't blood in there. But I guess we'll never know because he was for 5 weeks out there. I want to tell you guys also the two you guys know he was pulled over just a few short miles from the Moscow house on at least two other occasions. And one for being in the center of the line and and another for something else. I forget what it was. And then they have the police body cam footage. The defense is trying to keep that out of court. And the reason, excuse me, I knew that was coming. I knew that hiccup was coming. I hope I don't have hiccups. The reason why I believe that they want to keep it out of court is because he was holding a pretty intelligent conversation with that cop. I mean, it's one of the few times that we have him on camera that we can actually hear him talking.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to get those. They don't want the jury to see it because with that, they're trying to throw this theory right now to get the death penalty taken off because he's on the spectrum and he's got a personality disorder and he's got this going on and that going on and the other going on, which I feel like we proved last week that I just don't see it. If you could write a paper like he wrote for his final, just don't see that he has a problem with his understanding and his capability of learning. You cannot get through a master's degree, which you've got to have before you get your PhD. You cannot get through a master's degree, you guys, without having some kind of smarts to you. He was intelligent.
Yeah. I mean, there's no
Um,
doubt people with those issues it definitely are very, very brainy, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying that he's not capable to get up. You know that he wouldn't be able to do it because of this condition.
mhm.
That's
Yeah,
total bullshit.
it's
That
bullshit.
wouldn't. That's yeah. That's not for what they're saying anyway.
Yeah, it is bullshit. Look, you could tell by looking at the guy. You could tell by looking at him. You could tell by his mannerisms. You could tell by the way he stares. That he's got some problems mentally, but you just can't discredit his education. You can't.
And if that's the way he was, if he was seen to be like that all the time, you think, well, fair enough. But it isn't. Because I've seen a few videos of him taken at different times in his life where he's talking to people, and there's nothing at all that comes across that he's any issues like that.
Yeah. The only evidence beyond the back door is a footprint. Well, and remember on the other side, there is more evidence markers out there. We brought that up in one of them. Pictures of evidence markers that are outside in the back of the house.
Yeah.
So there is evidence out there. We just don't know what that evidence was.
So he was in Clarkston, Washington, Costco, and it said that there's a river runs alongside that. So obviously I couldn't listen to it all because I'm listening to you as well on the show. So I think what it's saying is what it's about to say is that where things could have been dumped. Who knows? I
I
don't
think it
know.
would,
That's just me
yeah,
saying that.
I think it would, I would listen, if I was going to try to hide evidence like that, I'd be scared to put it into a river. I've seen way too much pop up out of rivers. Even if they're weighted down, eventually those clothes will get loose and they'll be somewhere. I would bury it before I would do anything. Really.
Well, I've thought that myself. I thought as he planned all this, as he has a whole dog,
Mm,
everything's being done. He knew where he was going after, to get rid of it. And obviously we all believe that those clothes he had on in that house has come off and it's been wrapped in plastic. He's had plastic all over that car inside, ready,
yeah.
or in the trunk, wherever, where he's put them
Yeah.
into. So he didn't need to go
mm,
near the rest of the car. It's the only way there wouldn't have been anything in that car. And
Yeah.
then
And
what
regardless,
was
he had a
there?
lot. Um, the what I so we're going to talk about the blood trail and the car and all of that too, because that's what I actually have pulled up. But Maggie, can you show you put something on,
Oh yeah, yeah.
can you show, maybe just let it run through? I've already got it on loop, so it'll run through a couple of times so we could see just
Okay,
his mannerism and stuff like that. Let me use the bathroom really quick. I'll be RB.
okay. Yeah, just watch this. Just watch this. So remember, it's on a loop if it's going over and over and over. Just let me make sure I'm on the right one. Um, okay, if I'm doing this one right. And you can see him sitting there. Now, in the other videos, when you can see him in court, they're saying that he holds his hands a certain way, sort of like his fingers together and close to his face, don't you? That's the way you see him when he's sitting down. But he's got none of that here. It's saying he sits like that because of his condition. but he doesn't look any different than anyone else there. And I'm not saying people with autism do. I'm not saying that my own son's got it. But what I'm saying is, it I just don't believe for 1 minute that that's stopping him from doing what anyone else should be doing. They, I just don't believe it at all, and I don't understand it. So do you see what I mean on that one, Liz? I should have got the other one as well. There was another one. He was at his graduation, and he was standing there, and he was talking away to. I think he was talking to the few girls or whatever. I think it was a girl. Can't remember now. And again, he didn't seem awkward. Now, I'm not saying just because he didn't see me, he wasn't, but that's what they're trying to put out there. So yeah, but I understand you seeing both sides, because I was exactly the same. I was exactly the same. I just went from thinking, oh, he always got that dreaded feeling of what if it was wrong, and someone like that could be on a jury, but I just think there's too much against him now. It's just the evidence, like Leanie said, is stacked up. And I think all they can do now is keep the death penalty off the table. But I did have that feeling today. I did have that feeling today, Lizzo, when I heard that. I thought, oh God, is he going to walk here? What a scary feeling. I mean, God, if you're innocent, then so be it. But I'd say I'm 99.9% that he isn't. Or well, I'd say I'm 100% now. But me, I haven't got a clue. Oh, take it easy, Anne. Lovely to speak to you, Gail. I hope them chickens are still going.
Bye, Anne. Love you.
Take care, love.
Well, the people that came out, just let that run a few minutes. The people that came out that were actual students with him, I think this one is at DeSales University. And some of the students that came out and talked in the early days, they talked about how in class, and even since he was a student teacher at Washington U, they talk about how he's always the one like that answers all the questions. He will be argumentative actually with his own professors, because he wants to be right. He wants to show his knowledge of things. So it doesn't surprise me at all that you actually see him here, like saying a few things, and I know people that are that have that. A lot of people that go down this path with crimes like this, they do think they're smarter than most. My problem is, I think he did his homework when it came to crime scene, and when it came to what else, when it came to how to pull off a crime. Hi, Digital Maniac. How to pull off a crime and things like that. I just don't think he did his homework when it came to what cell phones do, how much exactly they can track even when turned off, or GPS, or security footage, things like that. I don't think he I don't think he should have waited a couple more years and got more information on that. But I went and I looked it up really quick, Lizzo. Ann Taylor does say in court, um, one of the last times they were in court, that yes, he was by the house at uh the time of the Linda, I think it was the Linda Lane footage that they have, but that he wasn't there as many times as they say he was. That had to be another car. Okay, what else? Hello, Barbara Smith. Good to
Hiya,
see you.
Barbara. Hiya, Digital. So the next bit, Lee, I've just listened was, oh God, the surveillance is going to be used against him in court.
Mm-hmm.
What
And
they
they're
got in
trying to keep a
hospital.
lot of it out. They're trying to keep a lot of it out, but I don't know how you can't. I don't know how you can't. I mean, as long as they can, they're trying to keep the one out of court that's coming by and you can see the front of his car without the license plate on the front of it. That's the one Ann Taylor doesn't want the jury to see. But it is what it is what it is. Hello, Lord Dandelion. Waka ka 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 ka. All right, Maggie, let's bring this up. Let me share this. Wait that a minute.
What are we sharing? Hiya, Lionel.
All right. So I have been looking everywhere, reading everything that I can read, doing as much everything. And I don't like doing it because I don't want the way other people present, however they're doing any case, to look like that's where I get my information from, or that I'm kind of doing it the same way. I'm just a leanie, just a leanie over here reading scripts. That's all. Okay. One of the places I went started running down the list. I was actually looking for crime scene photos. I was looking for photos and video footage from the early days of the police coming in and out. And I was also looking to see if I could. Okay, here's something that gets me too. I mean, they must have that college town and them kids scared to death, y'all, because in today's day and age, there's video everywhere. Who is not videotaping stuff going on? If something's going on across the street, y'all, I'm videotaping that shit. I'm gonna put it out or something, I want to know. Don't y'all want to know? So, somebody got their camera phone out and is standing there watching the cops come in and out and in and out. None of that has been leaked. So those cops got a shakedown on that town, I think, and let them all know. If anything gets released, I don't know how they scared them or whatever, but that's unheard of. You can't go and do anything nowadays without someone with a camera on you. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I went and because I'm looking everywhere. I went on 4chan too, looking for it, because a lot of stuff will end up on 4chan. You just have to be careful because a lot of stuff there is altered. So, but I haven't found anything, you guys, that's been leaked. And I know someone had their camera phone out. I cannot see chat right now, mods. So if you will take care of that for me. But this is what I had found earlier, and I thought it was interesting. Now, I'm not saying any of this is factual. I'm saying that I thought it was a great conversation starter. I thought it was a great thing. Synopsis. I thought it was great critical thinking of what could be the reasons that There is it's very well written, and whoever wrote this, whoever this person is that wrote this, they did some work. They did some work, and I appreciated that of this. So I'm let me just read this to you guys. This is found on Reddit. This is being used for entertainment purposes only. This is from Reddit. It's not my work. I just thought it to be very interesting. And so our copyright, we're just using it, you guys, for educational purposes because we are an adult education channel. All right, here we go. How did the perpetrator leave no blood trail outside or traces in the car? He said, even if he was fully covered with an overall or any other protective clothing to prevent getting blood on himself, he still must have gotten some on the outer layer, especially on his sleeves or gloves, if he was wearing them. So my question is, how did no blood drip or leave a trail leading to where he left his car? Could he have discarded those outer layers inside the house before leaving? Well, I don't think he did. And the reason why I don't think he did is because we know Dylan saw him coming from Xana's way. You know, when she peeked out her door, he's coming from the way Xana was. And then she kind of walks him head towards the back door. I think if he stood there and stripped, she would have probably paid it. I would have. Not for anything sexual, but just to see what the fuck he's doing, you know. But I could be wrong. She says, could have discarded the outer layer clothes inside the house before leaving. Maybe he was wearing multiple layers of protective clothing, shedding the outermost one at the scene while keeping the other layer underneath to avoid leaving behind skin cells or other DNA. I think that's highly probable. Because he didn't, how is there absolutely no blood in the car? Even with obsessive and repeated cleaning, it's hard to believe not a single trace would remain. What do you think? And he says, this is purely speculation based on available information, of course. All right. So down here, somebody gives a few reasons. He didn't have much blood on him to start with, maybe. Bad clothing may have absorbed much of the blood in this case. There are many recent stabbings and some sadly on video, where an attacker stabs multiple people or stabbing a victim over 20 times, leaves the scene with no or little blood on themselves. A few examples of this is where I dig it, because he's given examples of what he's talking about. The Vancouver Starbucks stabbing in 2022. Attack by single assailant lasts 30 seconds. The victim does not scream or make any significant noise during the attack while being stabbed and is unconscious within seconds. Closest onlookers do not react. The attacker has very little to no visible blood on himself at the end of the attack. And then it gives you, the link to go and read it for yourself. Gives another example. Teen girl stabbed 20 times in Delhi. The attacker walks away with no visible blood on himself despite stabbing 21 times, bludgeoning the victim and the knife becoming embedded in the victim's head during the attack. And then it gives you more links. You can go and read it for yourself. The attacker walking away with no visible signs of blood on him. The Apple River mass stabbing in 2022. 4 young men are stabbed, one fatally, by a single assailant. Victims do not scream during the attack. Victims are not initially aware they have been stabbed. The assailant has very little or no blood on himself. You can read that as well. London Bridge mass stabbing in 2019. 5 people were stabbed at a conference, 2 fatally, by a single assassin or assailant. Attack lasted a few minutes. The first 2 victims were fatally attacked in a toilet of the conference center. Those in the next room attending a criminology conference about violent offenders heard no screams or disturbances. Attacker on video being subdued did not appear bloodied. You can read that as well. And then here's some more. He had 6 weeks to clean the car and no one was killed in the car. DNA and blood can be cleaned away quite easily. Hydrogen peroxide, and we already know that Brian knows all of this. It was in one of the filing motions. He, or was it, what was it? What was it? He wrote something or asked something about this. I have to find it. Anyways, DNA and blood can be cleaned away quite easily. Hydrogen peroxide will degrade DNA and render blood non-reactive to visual reagents like luminol. It does not leave bleach marks and decomposes to just water and oxygen. All right, and then they give you different things to look at to prove it for yourself. Washing with water alone is sufficient to fully remove DNA from many surfaces. You can look that up right there. Washing fabrics like carpet with hydrogen peroxide at 3% destroys all DNA. Peroxide is commonly sold at 10%. Household cleaners with active oxygen, a peroxide source, destroyed blood and DNA to prevent blood reacting with forensic visual agents reagents. There are many examples of much bloodier scenes than Koberger's car being cleaned of all the blood in the hours, if not weeks. A couple of examples were Robert Wone, fatally stabbed, lost 2/3 of his blood volume in the house. Scene was sealed within 50 minutes, but no blood or DNA was found other than a spot on the bed police thought was staged. 3 male residents of the house appeared freshly showered when the police arrived and were suspected of washing and staging the scene. And then there's another one. Claudia Malpin and Oliver Northrup, stabbed, mutilated, disemboweled, and dismembered by a 15-year-old schoolboy, Daniel Marsh. Marsh left none of his DNA at the scene or on the bodies, despite sexually motivated assault, organ removal and insertion of objects in the chest cavities, and cleaned away the traces of the victim's blood and DNA on him, tracking 0 DNA to his home. You guys, these are all links right here you could read for yourself of how it's been done before. My question is, did Brian Koberger study all this? The judge himself said there are many reasons for lack of DNA. The judge being hippie Hitler. Let me sing hippie Hitler. He's hip. Hip, hip, hooray for Hitler. All right, I'm going to quit being silly. The judge himself said there are many reasons for lack of DNA, blood in the car, and refers to taking off outer clothing. In the January 23rd hearing, Judge Hitler states at 6:57:07 in a video linked below that there are several explanations for lack of victim DNA in the car, including the use of covering clothing and gloves that can be put in a bag real quickly on the way out. That was in one of the affidavits. Now, remember, I told you there were crime scene placards, numbered placards outside the house on the ground going up that little embankment to where we believe Brian parked back there, where I believe Brian parked back there. So I don't know. Was it another shoe print? Was it a drop of blood? Was it a hair? Who knows? I don't know. But anyways, you can go right there. It gives you the link to find it. And then just some people who reacted to how this was put together. Somebody says, the 15-year-old schoolboy, if he can leave no DNA at a scene where he murdered 2 people, that's just terrifying. And then other people say, so many good examples, echoing the above, the victims being caught by surprise in a vulnerable position in a bed, early dark hours, asleep, barely awake, drunk, play a huge role in the lack of blood. 2 or 4 were confirmed to have been found in the bed, likely in an asleep, barely awake state. One victim is highly speculated to have been in bed was Ethan, cited as also in the room. Plus, image of the visibly bloody mattresses depicted the outline of one person being carried out for evidence. We looked at that before, you guys, when they were putting them on the back of the truck. You could clearly see the blood underneath the white covering of the mattress. The only victim who is confirmed to have been awake, the smallest amount of victims, was found on the floor in her room, likely also caught by surprise. Even if awake, it was still 4 a.m. and she'd been drinking in the hours prior. While some victims were reported to have had defensive wounds equal vigilantly fought back. They may have just had their hands up. I think it's more than just that. I just remember early reports of a couple of the bodies. In many cases of stabbings, results in perpetrators walking away covered in or tracking the blood. The perpetrators caught their victims at a time where they were awake and alert and could fight back, otherwise respond to some extent. But stabbing sleeping victims, the beds would be as a sponge. Now, the reason why I read that one out is because they make a very good point. I'm still not in chat, you guys. They make a very, very good point to this. What do we know about sleep? What do we know about inebriation? Your heart slows down. Therefore, the blood pumping through your body is slowing down. You're going into a rest state where you don't need your heart to be as active to keep you alive as you do when you're awake and moving around. Your heart's got to beat faster, you know. So if the heart is not beating as fast and having to pump as much blood because you're in a state of rest or inebriation, that's causing you to rest, I think it's safe to say that the bloodletting from the bodies would be take a longer period than rather if somebody is, I don't know, walk around the house scrubbing the floors and somebody walks up behind you. You know what I mean? Your body's already pumping, your heart's pumping blood faster because you're in motion. So therefore you would bleed out quicker. But because they were already at a state of rest for God knows how long, would they have, maybe there wouldn't be so much, you know, of the bloodletting or the splurts or the, you know, I'm already into it, you guys. So I mean, I can't make it any prettier than what it really was. Now, do I believe there's blood splatters around? Yeah, I do believe that. I mean, you could see it, right? If you go back to some of the crime scene photos or the photos from outside the house when the crime scene detectives were in it and people were shooting, photos into the house, you could see the crime scene investigators in the living room and they're looking down at the floor. So I don't know. I think there is blood splatter, but maybe because they were in a state of rest and the heart wasn't pumping as fast, they would have blood out slower, thus having the mattresses soak up more, their clothing soak up more. And also clothing is going to protect, their clothing on them is going to protect a lot of the splatter and things of that sort, right? Their clothing is going to catch most of it. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't have a drop on him. He had to have. There's just no way. But I mean, there's some instances right there if you want to read them for yourself that can be proven that it can be done. Especially when you know what to wear. You know you've done your research. You know what you got to wear. You know how you've got to wear it, where to take it off, what to do with it afterwards. And because of the final report that he wrote uh, for his final grade, I believe he knew exactly what he should be wearing. So, anyways, I found this in um, Reddit. All you guys got to do is just type in Coburg or Reddit if you're or Moscow murders. That's Moscow murders. And they've got a lot of stuff here. Now, like I said, it's all opinion. Some of it's fact. Some of them are putting up different filings from and then having a discussion on that. But just when I want to have a discussion and none of you guys are around, I will go on here and have a discussion with people. I'm not lying. I will. So there's that. I hope that answers just a little bit of questions for those that say, hey, how did he walk away? Well, people have done it before. I know I remember the coroner looking totally disturbed. I think she was a little freaked out. Well, first we know that they're not used to this type of, she said this was the worst crime she had ever, gone in and witnessed with the most casualties. And then I think she was trying to pick her words wisely because she didn't know what all she was allowed to say and what she wasn't allowed to say. And she still got some grief even after that because they said that she still said too much. What says you, Mags?
God, I just wouldn't want to be a job. I wouldn't want that job full stop anyway, then or before or after.
Can't hear a word you're saying, girl. I mean, what'd you do? Go to the bathroom?
The
hell?
Me mic's up my head. It was near the back of my head. Sorry,
Get your mic in your mouth, bitch. Let's go.
It's Dandy's got me up the wall.
Dandy's got me up the wall.
He's singing. I said I wouldn't want to be here then, before or after. I couldn't bear it, seeing that stuff. There's no chance I'd want to ever see anything like that.
Oh, I would love to. I told y'all I was going to apply to be a crime scene cleanup person.
Oh, shit.
And the only reason why I didn't, me and my daughter wanted to do it. The only reason why I didn't is because you have to be on call 24/7 on your shift. And listen, if you want to call me like at 3 or 4 in the morning, I'm good. I'm coming. I'm on my way. But don't call me at 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired.
Surely, if you started your own, you'd be able to have your own boss. You can do your own hours.
No, they call it. They call whenever it is time for a cleanup. Like they will call around and whoever. I mean, they have to have it cleaned by a certain time.
2 of you can do daytime. 2 of you can do through the night.
No, I don't want to do that. No, I can't be bothered. Plus, I would take 6 hours like videotaping and doing my own crime scene research. It'd be terrible. I'd be terrible.
Oh, don't never come near me. Oh,
my crime scene tape would be green. I'd be wrapping my green tape all around the house, getting arrested and shit. It'd be terrible. I'd be terrible.
Be terrible.
Be terrible.
I don't understand how Lenny understands Maggie.
Oh, I understand Maggie.
That's because I'm talking fast because these are used to me, but you're not used to me, so you can't understand a thing I'm saying. Do I sound like Scottish to you or Irish? Tell me that, Lord Dandy dear.
Lord Dandy dear, I will tell you that somebody said about you the other night that you sound very proper and quiet. Isn't that what they said, Maggie?
Me?
No, somebody else. No, Dandy, you're not quiet and proper.
Okay.
Dandy is. Well, that's what they said about him. I said he's just shy. I don't know if he's proper, but no, he sounds educated, don't he? Sounds educated. Anyways, back to Coburger before Dandy comes in here and takes everybody's attention away from us. Damn it.
Scottish Lilliputian. Scottish. If I was Scottish, I'd be talking like that. Scottish. That's as most I can do.
The motion that is going to be played, or that they're going to court for on the 9th, is going to be live from the courtroom. And I think that's the camera that they're going to use for the trial as well. I don't think they're going to allow like YouTubers or you know, mainstream news or anything in there, because you take the chance of them seeing the jury
will we see
or
it as
taking
live?
pictures. Yeah, but we'll only see like you remember what Murdaugh's looked like? Did you watch the
I
Murdaugh
didn't
case?
watch it now.
But you saw clips of it, right? So that
I
was
can't
their
remember.
camera in court. Or if you watch the motions where you see Ann Taylor and Brian Koberger there, that's
Yeah.
the court camera. So that's what
Okay.
we're gonna see.
So we're only
So
gonna be
whenever they
seeing a
show
little-
like, whenever they show like crime scene photos and stuff like that, they'll pan away from that so that the audience doesn't get it. Because do you remember when Gannon Stouch, the court camera was fixated on one of the crime scene photos? Do you guys remember that?
No.
Oh my God. I was watching it live with G, and everybody was freaking out because it wasn't one of the bad ones, thank God, but it was still a crime scene photo. And everybody was freaking out because the court wasn't realizing that it was like looking at the judge or something, and you could see I forget what it was trying to focus on, was a person talking, but you could see it in the background. It was terrible. Terrible.
Terrible.
It was. So that's, and if a court camera is going to do that, there's going to be a YouTuber out there that's going to be wanting to get them crime scene photos. So, like me, I would love to have the crime scene photos, to tell you the truth.
I want to look as well. I'll be terrified to have to side-eye them first. Definitely have to look through the sides of my eyes first. And then, but I do want to see. I just can't believe that someone could do that to them. I just can't believe it.
That's right, Lizzo. She did. She charged people in her. Oh, that was terrible. That made freaking international news.
Yeah.
She's just as popular. Fucking YouTubers. Who do they think they are?
Hiya, JB.
JB.
So
who do they think they are?
Lord Tanzi, because he hasn't got a clue about this case. He's asking if it's on now.
No,
it's all coming out under wash, Tanzi, the 11th of August or August 11th, whatever way you look at it. If you can even understand me.
Did I hear somebody come up on panel when I was reading that? I thought I heard.
It was me. I'm putting some stuff up.
Goody good.
I'm not sure. You can go and have a look what it was. I'm not sure whether I should put it up or not.
Can you understand that better, Dandy, when she talks like that? All posh
Hi,
and
Lionel.
shit?
Can you understand if I talk like this? Is this any better for you? Let me know. No, I understand, Maggie. So you understand me like this, or you'd understand me like that? Which one?
Like that.
But it's clipped. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. That's how it was presented to me.
So, yeah, this footage is maintained by Business Costco. The state would seek admission. Yeah, this is in one of the filings too. Now, listen, there's only a reason. So it says this footage is maintained by a business, Costco Wholesale in Clarkson, Washington. The state would seek admission of this footage pursuant to IRE, whatever. The relevant footage is taken on November 13th, 2022. The state may rely on a video footage from approximately 11:59 a.m. to show defendant's vehicle and actions hours after the homicide. Listen, there's only one reason why they would want to show this in court. And it's because it has got some more evidence to prove his guilt, like buying cleaner, buying another fucking shower curtain. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you guys are reading through any of the documents that have been released, there are some things, some of the footage, some of the bank records belonging to some of the victims. There's stuff that the state doesn't plan on presenting anymore. Why? Because it has no relevant value to this case. But if it's got relevant value that will show his guilt, it is going to be, they want it presented in court. We've yet to hear back on all of these documents yet from the court. I thought by today that the court would go ahead and put them up, but before we went live, I went back to the court page and they haven't put it, the motions. Maybe he's going to make, I don't know though. He usually doesn't make any, the judge usually doesn't make any decisions during a court. He gets back to them. So we should be any day now getting some kind of ruling on if the court is going to allow these, if the judge is going to allow these during the trial. That's what all the motions are for, you guys. That's what they are going to court. That's why there are all these documents being sent in and stuff, because they have to submit to the court what evidence they want the jury to see, why they want to see it, and is it relevant. And then the defense can look at that and say, this is not relevant to the case at all. It has nothing at all to do with my client. We do not want the jury to see this. Now, sometimes they will say, this doesn't have anything to do with the case. We don't want it brought to court, even though it has to do with their client, like those traffic stops that shows him having a conversation with the cop. They don't want that shown in court because what they're saying is he's just not, y'all, he's not with it enough to understand any kind of direction or anything like that. So, you know, the conversation that he's having with the cop shows a little bit different, just a little bit. So anything that the defense can have thrown out, they're going to, because it's just more evidence stacked up. What says y'all? What does chat say? What does chat say?
Well, Lionel's a bit confused. He's asking why you're saying things. It's me. He doesn't know that I show as you. So Lionel, he said, can he ask a question? I said, yes, on your own head, beer. He said, why is Leanie saying that? I said, it's not Leanie, it's me, Lionel. I share as Leanie.
Yeah, she's a co-host, so she's got all the things. She can come up on According to Leanie and run her own lives.
Run the show, but I can't run the show because I'm shite. Lord Dandelion said, could you tell me if Brian could be confused with someone else?
Well, I answered that a little bit earlier in a roundabout way when I said all the evidence is pointing to Koberger. There is no evidence that's been brought forth that points that there could be other suspects involved, or that it was somebody else. So, because believe me, if they could point that no, here's this right here, this just goes to show you that there's other perps in this. Brian didn't act alone. or he wasn't even there. This just shows you that it's somebody else. It hasn't been brought to court. And they have Brian's DNA on the knife sheath next to one of the bodies. So yeah, I mean, listen, if somebody can prove some stuff to me, let's go. Let's go.
No, I am not in the thing. What's the thing, Lee?
The thing. Oh, I think he's saying he's not, he hasn't been following the case. He's not a real true crime guy. He's
Neither
got
are you.
enough true. He's got a enough true crime in his own country.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all? Running around with machetes here.
Oh my God, Maggie,
Everywhere.
that's terrible.
Yeah, so you should follow it, you know, Lionel. It's very, very interesting, very sad, but very interesting looking at all the different sides, and it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Terrible saying that, but you say it's terrible.
So he
So
has to
yeah,
prove. Go ahead, Max. Sorry.
no, go on.
So he has to prove that his DNA was planted at the scene to disprove it. That's right. That's what he would have to do. But here's the deal. So somebody broke in somewhere and got that knife sheath from old sad Brian, right? Just happened to have some DNA on it. They weren't sure, but they were hoping. Then they were driving around with that in their car or in their back pocket or something, just waiting on the perfect crimes to happen, murders to happen, so that because they hated Brian Koberger that much that they needed to frame him. What says you?
Are you Cowboy Snyder?
Hello, Lubbock. No, seriously, when I hear the whole it was planted, that makes no sense to me. It makes absolutely no sense to me.
No.
So one of two things had to have happened. The person hated Brian Koberg enough that they wanted to do away with him, right? So they went and got something to plant at a future crime scene, a future murder to frame him. Or there was some other guy out there that happened to somehow get Brian's knife sheath or his DNA or whatever, both of them, right? And wanted to commit murders, but he wasn't going to take the fall for it. So, oh, but I've got that knife sheath that I stole from Brian. Let me just leave that there. None of this makes any fucking sense. Doesn't make any sense. Doing good, cowboy. Hope you're well. Machete Maggie. Waka, kaka, kaka, kaka.
I'm trying to explain to Lionel what a flyover is, because the last one that was throwing a machete around was on a flyover, which is a bridge in the air that cars go over. The only way I can describe it, like.
You guys
You
call those
describe it?
flyovers?
Yeah, flyovers. Don't ask me why.
Fucking weirdos. They're just bridges. Jay Brad says,
Weird.
poor Brian getting set up by very sophisticated college student that can outsmart the FBI.
Yeah, we sure do. Sure do, cowboy. Yeah, JB, it's all happening. It's all happening.
Yeah, I just can't get on the listen. I could get on the train of there was more than one perp before I could ever get on the train of he was set up. The problem is, let's say Beth eats using a fork at my house and I go unalive someone with said fork. Does that mean Beth is guilty of the crime?
What was that? But for people, imagine you hate someone. Oh, hang on, I'm going to move now. The problem is, let's say Beth eats using a fork at my house, and I go unalive someone with said fork. Doesn't mean Beth is guilty of the crime. No, but
Right, no.
no, but she'd have her DNA, obviously, and you've got to prove that it's not her. But if that's all is against her, is the only
Yeah, it could if that's the only evidence they had,
evidence
like
against
that's
her,
it.
yeah.
And remember, before DNA, there were plenty of people that were convicted of crimes. And yes, I understand that there are some convictions out there that are fault. They're not right. There have been people that have been set up. There have been people that are falsely accused. I get it, but not the majority. Not the majority. And way before DNA, since the beginning of time, we've had courts and people were found guilty on speculation. People were found guilty on other evidence besides DNA because we didn't have it. People were found guilty like this. If we took the DNA out of this completely, there's still too much evidence stacked against them. Too much. There's too much evidence stacked against them. Take the DNA away and look at all the other stuff. It's too much. Lord Dandy, but 4 people. Imagine you hate someone, then you want to eliminate them. Imagine you get the opportunity to end 4 people who you never knew. Well, that's if you believe that he went there to go and kill 4 people, which I do not. I think he went there to kill 1 person, and he got all kind of fucked up in his whole plan got fucked up. That's why the knife sheath was left. He didn't know he was going to have to literally fight someone to kill her and then fight someone else downstairs because he had no intentions of killing them either. So, but earlier in this live, I gave some instances of other crimes that you can go and visit with the links in them. You can go and visit those that where people have just killed people. Look, people kill people every day, whether they know them or not, for whatever reason or not. They kill people every day, and some of it doesn't have to do with hate. A lot of it has to do with passion and love. So you don't have to hate somebody to kill them. I really think that he would have become a serial killer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, he didn't come this far in his education.
Well, it's been said now, the other dog that was killed, taken from the garden and killed a month before the Idaho murders. They're saying now, could that fur that had been found in a Koberger's flat be from that dog?
Yeah, because they did
Buddy.
take some hair, right?
Yeah, Buddy,
And
the
that's
little
not something
dog's
he had
name
to
is,
clean up.
because like we say, that's where it starts, doesn't it, with animals?
Hmm.
So who's to say?
Right, JB. Maybe already was. Listen, I don't know for sure if his sister turned him in or not. I know that has come out. Been a couple people have said that she turned him in. I don't think. I think before he ever got home, they were following him. I do believe the 2 stops in Indiana were the FBI had that all set up. So I don't know that I believe that, but if she did, she's going to have to testify. And we already know Dad's going to testify, right? We know that. He's the one that drove back with him to Pennsylvania. So they're going to grill his ass. Poor guy. I do feel sorry for the parents. I really, really do. Because I don't believe that they knew. I don't. Now, if something comes up in his childhood where, yeah, he had trouble, killing animals or being mean to kids or, which we have heard that, remember, he was severely overweight. And it was in high school that he got addicted to heroin and he lost all that weight. And prior to that, he was made fun of and bullied a lot. A lot. And then when he lost all the weight, he became this cocky kind of thing. But I do know, in his defense, losing weight and finally feeling good about yourself, especially after probably being abused all those years, people bullying you, you would have a certain amount of confidence, maybe a cocky, look at me now, bitches, that kind of a thing, right? Maybe that's what happened. The blood on the banister doesn't match anyone in the house or Brian, but they won't test it because it would wipe the previous test of the DNA. But if they haven't tested it, how do you know it doesn't match anyone in the house or Brian? I mean, if it hasn't been tested, how do we know?
I didn't know it had been said that it wasn't anyone's in the house. What I seen was there was 3 different DNAs. That's all I heard. So I don't know. I haven't heard
No,
that
that's
one.
underneath her fingernails. 3
No,
different
on the
DNA.
banister. That's what I heard on the banister, unless I've heard it wrong. That there was 3 different. Because if you remember, we were saying that could have come from the girl running up the stairs to get away or down the stairs, whatever. Or when we thought that
I'll have to look that.
Santa was in the kitchen or something and ate something and maybe she run up the stairs because he run after it or something like that.
No.
Maybe that could be.
So the blood on the banister is going from the first floor to the second floor.
Okay.
So Xana was already on it. So, and we don't know which way is I don't know how much blood is there. I don't know. Is it a fingerprint? Is it a handprint? Is it just a drop? What does I want to know what the blood looks like, because if it's a fingerprint, you could see if that fingerprint's going up or down. Okay. Whether let's take out of the equation right now that Brian didn't do this. We don't even know Brian. Okay. All we know is the evidence, but we don't have a suspect. Let me ask it to you this way. Do you believe, with the evidence that you've heard, not talking about any suspect, we don't know anybody. Do you believe, with the evidence that you've heard and the evidence that you've seen, that the killer went anywhere downstairs on the first floor? Good night, Dandy. Big hugs. Love you. Just in chat. I think I love you. Come on, Maggie. Let's sing. That's what I'm so afraid of. Maggie let me down.
Oh, I was typing. Don't even know it anyway.
You don't know that song? I can't be friends with you.
Can't be friends.
That was for you, Dandy.
Good night, Dandy Sock Monkey.
What I had heard is, and I'll pull something up. I'll try to find something on it. That there wasn't enough there wasn't enough to test. But let me pull that up and see. Can y'all answer that? Can you guys answer that for me? So they
I
know
haven't got.
there's not.
So
Well,
they know there is a DNA profile that doesn't match anyone in one of the profiles they already have. Am I reading that right? So they know there is a DNA profile that doesn't match anyone in one of the profiles they already have. That's what
so
I'm thinking it
that's
says.
so let's just say that's true. Now we know we have seen some of the pictures that were taken outside of the house and after the police had gotten there later on in the night, and you could see the table. It is set up for beer pong or pong, whatever. Liquor bottles there, wine bottles and stuff like that. So we know that prior to that night of the murders or early morning hours, uh, that there was some kind of party going on, right? Whether, let's just say it was all four of the girls and their boyfriends, right? Let's just say it was that. And it's a party house. They haven't told us how old the blood is. Is it fresh blood? Was it dried blood? Was it we don't know. There's just too many variances that it could be. And do you really think if that was a party house that that would be the only place that they would find blood? Even if, let's just say, there was never any murders in that house, take luminol and go spray it around your house, my house. You're going to find blood. And I'm a clean freak. Love you, Dandy. Um, so so yeah, there, if the blood was tested and the DNA doesn't match any of the victims and it doesn't match anybody who lived there and it doesn't match Brian Koberger's, does that mean that Brian's not guilty? There's a good question right there. So if that blood right there doesn't match anybody, does it mean he's not guilty? I believe the one on the stair rail doesn't show up in the system. Okay, but does it mean he's not guilty? Does it point, oh my God, here we go, boom, not guilty because the blood that they found doesn't match anybody in the house or Brian, so he's not guilty. Does that discredit in any way that blood that they've got no match to anywhere? Does that discredit in any way any of the other evidence stacked up against Brian Koberger, including DNA? JB says, go ahead, Maggie.
So they spray the luminol and turn off the lights, and if it glows, they take a picture. That's their evidence because they can't collect it.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, because you see the aluminol sprayed on that cabinet and it shows stuff leaking down.
No, but it still could point to someone else being there with him.
You're exactly right. And I will go down that road with you any day. But if somebody was there with him, does that
JP
still?
says they have the photos.
Oh,
Well,
they
if they've
do.
got photos too, then he's screwed, Cowboy says.
So let's just go down the road that he didn't act alone. He had somebody else there with him. Does that mean he's not guilty?
My understanding is it was fresh blood, Lizzo says.
I don't even remember. Remember,
I haven't
first
heard
time I
that.
heard that is when
Yeah.
Peggy was in here. She was like, what about the blood on the banister? What about the bloody glove? And I was like, and the way she was saying it was the banister outside. I'm thinking, what the hell banister are we talking about? I've been all over that house. There's no banister. So then when I went and I looked at it, it's talking about the banister in between the first floor and the second floor inside the house. And then we don't even know where the glove was because Chris Madonna didn't even know if his glove was the one they were talking about that he found. So my question is that even if we say it wasn't his blood, he acted with somebody else helped him, does that mean he's not guilty? No, it doesn't. Have you heard of anything else besides some blood that's at the scene? Now, I know that can be incriminating if it's fresh blood. And then we're going to kind of have to ask around to the roommates and the people that were in the house that day. Who was bleeding in here? Let me see the cut. I'm sorry. I think the police did all that. I think it was investigated that way if it was fresh blood. I just do.
Photos of the trace blood and fresh bloods. They can't take the fresh blood either. They swab it and take pictures for court. It could
It
have
could
been
have,
blood from the dog.
yeah, it could have been blood from anything. That's why it's really important to find out, And here's the deal. So we're in all these motions now, right? We're in all the motions. And everything that the defense thinks that they can get thrown out, they're trying to. Everything that they have something that would that the prosecution has that they think is just bogus shit and it leads to Brian's either innocence or not acting alone, they're trying to keep in, right? We're not hearing anything. There's nothing in the motions that I've seen in any of the documents that I've seen so far that talks about the anybody trying to throw out the glove and the blood on the banister.
Let's just say someone else did the murders and got him to come over and he brought his knife because the girls said they were scared and they planted it. Wild eye now. Would there be no blood on it, would there?
Well, I think we would.
Like every other knife in the house if there's no blood on it. Nothing
Wait a
on
minute.
it.
Let's just say someone else did the murders and got him to come over and he brought his knife because the girls. So are we talking about maybe, are you talking about Brian coming over and left his
Think
knife
so.
there and then the murderer, the real murderer got
Oh,
a hold
yeah.
of his knife and killed him? That's the way that I'm reading that.
Okay, yeah, I get it now. Yeah, that's what she means, I think.
Okay. Listen, I think anything is plausible. I think that's probably one of the most plausible explanations I can get on board with because everything else points to him doing it. That is probably the only thing that I've heard that I could remotely even believe. But you would have to prove to me. Listen, if the girls invited said, I'm scared, let's just use our brains for a minute here. Now, if I'm scared in my house, I'm not going to call the neighbor across the street first. I'm going to call my husband, my kids, my whatever. I would think that if the kids were scared, that they would call boyfriends, best friends, not some guy that goes to a different school than them. So you would have to be able to prove, if that was the case, you would have to be able to prove that he had some kind of relationship with the girls, one or all, um, that he would be the one that would come and save the day with a K-bar knife and leave it with them. And I just believe that with them, all them girls in that house and boyfriends running in, that they were that close that they all knew, hey, Brian brought us over a K-bar. We're going to be okay. Nothing to be scared of. We got it. Everybody, just so you know, if you need a knife, we're all keeping it right here. Right? You'd want everybody to be safe. Then wouldn't the two surviving victims say, wait a second, Brian brought over his K-bar knife to keep us safe? And that would exonerate him? But we're not hearing that. I'm glad you're playing devil's advocate because it makes me think. Barbara said, I believe if he had a partner, he would be singing like a bird. JB says, Occam's razor, also known as the principle of parsimony, suggests that when forced with multiple explanations for a phenomenon, the simplest explanation is usually the best.
I'm so glad I didn't read that out. I had to balls that up.
I'm not saying I didn't balls it up. I might
I
have.
had to well balls it up.
No, I actually love a good debate.
Debate, yeah, it's a good
I
debate.
do.
I'm
I
listening.
love it.
I'm like, ooh, I think you should get up, Lizzo, and speak. Grace.
I did see
do
up
not
there
open
that Lunch Lady
debate.
did say earlier that she believes that Brian Koberger's dad knew.
I don't. I don't think you knew. I think I don't know. I just feel he didn't look guilty. Didn't look like. I mean, but who am I? I haven't got a clue about anything, so very well could be wrong. Do
JB
you
says,
think that he would have helped him?
no, he didn't get there until after the murders. Well, that we know of. I just don't see him knowing.
No, I don't.
I think the way he was acting is just the way he acts. He's just a frazzled person. But I would think a lot of people, when family members come out with stuff, when they start coming out with things, and one of the questions that usually everybody asks is, did you ever see it coming? Did he show any signs of this? Did he show any signs of that? And a lot of times you hear them say, looking back now, yes.
Yeah.
But who wants to believe that their child could be a killer?
Yeah.
And that the quirky, was it chalked up to, did he start abusing animals and killing animals? Was it chalked up to he's just being a quirky kid? I mean, would you think, oh my God, he's going to be a serial killer someday? No. My two my daughter and my son, when they were younger, you guys used to collect frogs and pop the eyeballs out of it because they thought they were
Oh
funny.
my
Sorry,
God.
Maggie. And when I found out about it, I was like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, Mom, it's so funny. I was like, it's not funny. It's not funny. And then I made him feel bad for the frog. They had to take the frog in and
Bunch
yeah, it was terrible.
Oh
Did I think,
God.
oh my God, my kids could be serial killers because they're hurting these frogs? No.
I would have. I just said, Leanie, them kids are serial killers in the making. I just said, oh my God.
No, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
until, there's a lot of stuff until you really start paying attention to. That's why people quit
Mhm.
watching the news, because there's so
Yeah.
much bad stuff on it, and they're just like done with seeing it all.
Yeah.
And then when you start watching all this crime and you get interested in this shit, you're more aware of stuff. So now I would think, oh my God. But back in the day, I was like, no, they're just being little country bumpkin shitheads.
You're going to say something else then, little country boy.
Country bumpkins.
No, I thought you were going to say they're just being little.
Little cunts.
Yeah,
No,
that's what
I
I thought
don't.
you were going to
I
say.
don't call my babies that. I only call people, who I didn't give birth that. Actually, wait, I have called my daughter a cunt. Anyways, just in jest. Just in jest. Just in jest.
So, lunch lady, I think he definitely suspected it was him. Too much pointed to him and he knows his own son. Now, I do believe that they had a little, I reckon they said to each other, oh God, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I mean, because he must have been acting some way differently because the sister, as far as I'm aware, anyway, whether it's 100%, I don't know. But the sister, she did, in fact, she did
Ooh.
come on and say that she did say she thought it was him.
Look what Barbara says.
I think they were suspicious. Both of his sisters have mental health training.
That is so good.
Ooh, there
I'd
you
forgotten
go.
about that. So good.
Ooh, so the sister did have an inkling that there was because he wasn't acting right. So the mum and dad must have seen something in that. So how long after the murders was that when the dad and him got pulled in the car, Lee?
Yeah, they were what was it, 5 weeks? I think it was 5 weeks, and then 7 weeks he was arrested.
I reckon
So
that dad
5 weeks
went into his
later
wife.
he Mhm.
Yeah, I reckon he went in and went, I'm telling you now, it's him. It's him. Wondered if his dad even said something to him,
Well,
even asked him.
didn't the sister say that she was like, the sister said something like, we heard it on the news, and she said the first person I thought of was my brother, or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, she said, yeah. Yeah. Oh
I'm
God.
telling you, I hope she did, and the police were already onto him. And the reason why I hope she did is because I really want to hear what she has to say on the stand.
I wondered if they'd put any
Even
hearing
though
devices in the house, in the house
bugged
where
it,
in his mother's house. Yeah, bugged it.
I don't know, but we know that Brian. I believe that system that he set up for that co-worker student person with him. I believe he bugged her house. I do. I think that's going to come out.
Yeah, I think they might have done that. So lunch lady says, imagine how that boy tormented his sisters growing up. He probably was popping popping the eyes out of frogs and throwing them on the stairs.
Yep. My kids were, well, those two. Celeste, she was not. Yeah, she was a dainty girl, and she carried her purse. But that other daughter and her brother, hooligans, hooligans.
Hooligan.
Go
If they
ahead.
thought he
Next.
got 4 people, would the parents sleep in a house with them? If they did, they are used to him doing stuff. Or maybe, oh God, I don't know. Maybe you like in your heart, but you
Turn
feel bad
away.
for thinking be, because it's your own. I don't know.
Yes. Read Miss Barbara's.
Both sisters lost their jobs because of him.
And I'm telling you,
Was
Miss
is
Barbara,
that
I think
after? Is
yes,
that after?
yes.
Oh,
And Miss Barbara, I'm telling you right now, when the books come out, because I think either both sisters are going to write a book or they're going to write it together, because they've lost money on this already. I'm telling you right now, I'm reading it. I gotta pee again. BRB.
oh God.
Sunshine just chimed in. Just in case you guys don't know, our Sunshine lives in Idaho.
Oh God. Have you been over where the house was? Have you been to have a look? I will go. Maybe she thought of her brother because he lives over there. I have friends or family. If I have friends or family that lives in that area, I would have thought about them. I'd have thought about everyone. I even thought of Lainey because she lives in Indiana. Hey, Lainey, I'm all confused by this, right? Is Indiana Indianapolis? Now, you're all going to probably laugh, but I haven't got. I'm in it because I asked what the time was there. I asked, gotta whisper that or it'll go off. What the time was in Indiana, and it says, oh God, I forgot what it said, but it said something, um, saying something about 4 states, but Indianapolis. So is it the same? I want to know. Is Indiana Indianapolis? Can someone answer me, please? No, you've never been to that side of Idaho. So how far is it from you then, sunshine? See, because you told me you live in Idaho, I think you live just around the corner. Because here in Liverpool, everything literally is almost around the corner. You live so many miles away, don't you? So can't get over it. I would, because the love for my son is beyond anything imaginable. But I'd turn him in. I would too. Break me heart. But then the thought of him doing that, do you know what I mean? It just knocked me sick. I'd be looking at him, side-eyeing him, looking him up and down, thinking, oh, how could you have even, do you know what I mean? I just couldn't get my head around that. I just couldn't get my head around it at all. Thinking of the wickedness and how he was able to do that. Oh, so hang on a minute. That is a city in Indiana. Oh, okay. Indianapolis is in Indiana. Okay, okay. I'm on it now. Thank you very much, JB. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, lunch lady. You're all so very kind to me. Not laughing at me thickness. Yeah, you know what I mean? If I knew someone in Idaho, that phone would have been ringing every day. I'd have been going, have you heard anything? Do you suspect anyone? Is anyone around the area a bit like I remember when they first interviewed the fella who lived in the apartments behind the house. Oh, I thought it was him. I would never make a detective. I was looking at that man, honest to God, and I was thinking, yeah, at first it didn't. I thought, oh, but then it didn't take me long. I was thinking, oh my God, it's him. He's got the perfect view. He was pointing up where his apartment was, and you could see it was a party house and this, that, and the other. And I was thinking it was him. I'd have everyone under the radar. That'd be no good. What's that? Oh, what's that? Oh, definitely will read it. What are you going to read, Bob? Save Robbie. You want a link? Just wait till the house comes back and I'll put it away, hon. See what she wants to do. Hang on a minute, let me get it ready. Are you back, Lee? Oh, with
Yes,
the sisters, right?
I'm having a
Somebody
coughing fit.
save Robbie wants the link, Lee. Is it all right for me to put the link in?
Sure. Save
Okay.
Robbie. He's over there in the true crime community.
Yeah,
I
I used to watch him at the beginning when it first came on.
Me too.
For a good while.
Come on up.
Why isn't it sending? There we
There
are.
it is. Tell you what I have found out today. Olivia, as in Chronicles of Olivia, is dating Oh, come on. I did see on Facebook that
What?
she was back in Idaho when they were out for a drink or something. I did see that Christy posted a picture of them 3D. The brother, I was wondering why the brother
Oh
was there,
my
not that
God.
maybe the dad was taking a picture. But are you serious?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Because I
She
was
had
a
the
little
baby.
jealous. I was a little jealous. I was like,
Oh, cute, yeah.
oh, I was
Robbie,
a
did
little.
you get the link?
So I had to go and sleep with the brother to get the 411 on the family. Damn, that's what will people do for YouTube channels?
Oh, have I sent that link, Grace?
You just got to go sleep with the family member, date a family member, and you can get the 411. Damn.
So she had a baby to him? Oh, she's pregnant. She went over, didn't she? And she was doing the
She did
she
did
was
their
the
first
first,
interview.
yeah,
Yeah.
because she thought she'd seen that, she'd watched some of it at
Yeah, Kaylee was
Prime.
subscribed
Yeah,
to her. Yeah.
yeah.
Ah, man, that is dedication. I'm doing this thing all wrong. Nobody told me that. Maggie, I'm going to need you to start sleeping with people
Oh,
too.
you're slow, Liz. Now, Lily, you're slow.
Nobody told me that was what was required to grow a damn channel
Well,
and
now
to be
you know.
a real platonic YouTuber. Go and sleep with
Ah, see?
victims' families.
Snoozers, losers.
All right. I'm on the next one, guys. I'm on the next one, but I'm just letting you
Snooze, you
know I
lose.
do have standards. They're really, really low, really low.
I
But
don't know if it's his baby, but I also know she's not showing K-Body in her videos anymore.
row.
Why hide it?
Listen, I'm not sleeping with there are certain people I'm not sleeping with Seth Rogers and yeah, I can't do Joe Dirt, you know. I
Well, I don't know what's happened to Robbie, but he's gone.
Yeah, he wanted it right then. He's like, who else was that used to do that? Want the link right then? If they didn't get it, then
I
they were
just
out.
seen link.
Go to sleep with Brian's. Oh no, no, man! They're really, really low, like barely off the ground. Oh, I just can't.
God.
Not even in the dark can I picture that.
Olivia and Bull and Bessie went at in at their house when it first happened. Yeah, I seen that. They did the interview, didn't they? Got the first interview. Was that long ago?
No,
Was that too? So it could be. Yeah, she could have had a baby. God, it doesn't seem that long ago. And then when you think about it, it does. My God.
that was pretty much right away that they
Yeah,
got in
at the
touch with
beginning.
her. So they must have started a little fancy dancing thing there.
It must have been inboxing and
Oh,
messaging it on
jammies.
Messenger. Pees all over herself.
I'm not sleeping with Koberger's daddy. That's just grody. Negative.
Well,
If you
something's
don't know
gotta
that
give.
your son is whacked out of his head,
I need to go and look
I
this up
think they
now.
were just excited that he was going to school and doing something with his life. Little did they know. Little did they. They just thought he was just, I mean, they were proud. Because remember, do you guys remember that his mother said, her Facebook before it was shut down. She posted on there right about his graduation from DeSales, and then how proud she was of him, and then that she was sad that he was going to all the way to Washington to get his PhD, and she was going to miss him. Yeah. So what kind of relationship did he have with mommy? Mama. Mommy. And obviously a great relationship with his dad. I mean, his dad flew all the way out there to help him drive back. Oh, you don't get to talk to Chris Madonna? Chris Madonna? Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, according to Lenny from YouTube's crime scene. Chris McDonough.
I found him from YouTube, the star of what is his channel called? Damn, Chris don't even know. We're like his biggest fans. Nobody knows about us over here, Mags. It's because we're not sleeping with people. Damn it. We got to get on
I'm
that.
trying to get this up now, a bit of info, but I can't find anything. Where did you see it, Lizzie? Where did you see it, Lunch Lady? I can't believe he's never told me.
Oh, yes. Lunch interview room. Thank you so much, Joni. Lunch Lady, that is so right. I remember. His mom wrote a thing in the paper taking up for Bundy years back. That is right.
Ooh.
I'd forgotten about that.
I can't find any info on Olivia with the brother. Feels so left out.
You have to go follow him on follow the Goncalves family page on Facebook. Let me see if I can find her. Oh, I'm excited. Let's watch this. Oh my God.
Oh, what have you found?
It's our girl.
What's a girl?
Our girl.
Well, Mummy was obsessed with Bundy, so him and Mummy may have chatted about serial killers. Nancy?
All right.
Laundrie's mother is breaking her silence to Fox News Digital after a disturbing burn after reading letter was found in her son's backpack. The love letter to her son read, "If you're in jail, I will bake a cake and put a file in it.
She was a
If you
sick
need to
being.
dispose of a body, I will show up with a shovel and garbage bags." Here to react is Fox News.
Let me stop this right here. Did you guys know, this is off topic. Did you guys know that Steven Stearns, in the Matty Soto case, his parents live in the same town as the Laundries?
Joking.
No.
Oh, it's full of them there then, isn't
Nancy
it?
Grace. Nancy, very
Hi, Nan.
bizarre for a mother to say this.
Hiya, Nancy.
We love you.
It is very bizarre. Now, Brian Laundrie's mother,
Love
Roberta,
you, Nance.
have us believe that this is a portion of a longer letter, which I term a love letter from
Love
a mother
letter.
to a son.
Watch your
But
eyes.
there's so many coincidences in it. The Laundries claim that this letter was written before Gabby was killed, but the Petito family begs to differ. Now, there's a lot in there about what she would do for him, but I don't know a lot of mothers that talk about digging up and burying a dead body or bringing a shovel or
Oh,
a
I'm helping
plastic
my
garbage
kids
bag or
100%,
putting a
Nance, if I don't
shiv,
like
a
them.
knife and a cake for the son when he's in jail. She goes on to paraphrase Romans 8:28 about how nothing can separate their love from each other, mother and son. Here's my problem. I'm fine with all that, bizarre as it may be. She goes on to write, burn after reading. And she tries to explain that away by saying they had a writing book and it was called Burn After Writing. And this was a way to encourage self-expression. That falls really flat with me. Now, the reality is this is part of a civil suit between the Petitos and the Laundries, not a criminal case. However, I wonder if authorities are looking at the Laundries in any capacity as to aiding and abetting or encouraging Laundries trek across the country, leaving Gabby's body behind. So far, no.
Yeah, this is a letter that she gave to Fox
Okay,
Digital. She said, or
to the
a
other part.
statement, I should say. The letter to Brian was written prior to Gabby and Brian leaving my home for their trip. I simply wanted to convey to him how much he meant to me, but it's very bizarre. She said, if you fly to the moon, I will be watching the skies for your re-entry. If you say you hate my guts, I'll get new guts. She goes on to,
yeah.
I mean, anyway. All right, let's talk about
Good
the
evening,
Idaho
Lou.
murders. The suspect, Brian Koberger's parents,
All right, here, listen
are now
to this.
called to testify before a grand jury in Pennsylvania because
I got to
another
turn it up
woman,
so I could hear it.
her body was found about
Oh, it's
30
already up.
miles from where his parents live. What do you say about this?
Well, this is what we know. We know the mother, Brian Koberger's mother, has already testified in front of a secret grand jury. We know his father is set to testify today in an unrelated death of a 45-year-old woman, Dana Smithers. She was last seen around 11 p.m. on a Ring doorbell camera on May 28,
What?
2022. Now, remember, fast forward, November is when the Idaho slays happened.
I missed
this
that.
is in the family home
Did you guys hear
area
that?
of Monroe,
No, I missed it.
Pennsylvania.
I gotta
in the
look that
same
up.
Area the testified today in
What's
an
it say?
unrelated
Hold on, listen.
death of a 45-year-old woman.
The suspect, Brian Koberger's parents, are now called to testify before a grand jury in Pennsylvania because another woman, her body was found about 30 miles from where his parents live. What do you say about this?
Well, this is what we know. We know the mother, Brian Koberger's mother, has already testified in front of a secret grand jury. We know his father is set to testify today in an unrelated death of a 45-year-old woman, Dana Smithers. She was last seen around 11 p.m. on a Ring doorbell camera on May 28, 2022. Now, remember, fast forward, November is when the Idaho slays happened. Now, this is in the family home area of Monroe, Pennsylvania. They live in the same area, the same county where this body was found. Now, Koberger claims he has an alibi for May 28. I'm not sure that I buy that. Remember, Washington State University classes did not start until August. So this is May preceding August. His parents were there. Was he? Now, one last thing. A grand jury has two capacities, investigative and charging. They may be investigating this to rule Koberger out, but I find it very difficult to fathom why they would bring both of his parents in. And one last thing to all you parents out there, we learned this during the Monica Lewinsky case when her mother cried and snotted and sobbed when she had to testify at a grand jury. There is no parent-child privilege like attorney-client or priest-parishioner. So you have to testify against your child at grand jury.
You have an amazing special on Fox Nation. It's Parallels of Evil, the Bundy and Idaho killings. You're comparing the chilling, eerie similarities of the two, both at college campuses. And I was amazed when I watched some of these interviews. It's always fascinating to hear from people who've survived this. And you talk, there were two ladies, two in the Cayo house down at Florida State in Tallahassee that survived. And then another lady in another house, after he was fleeing that home, he went to her house and stabbed her. Thankfully, her neighbors called 911 because she was in a coma. So she was stabbed in the head so many times. You interview. Here's a little clip of Karen Pryor, one of his survivors.
There've been a lot of mass murderers, but he seemed to almost pick a murder that mirrored one of Bundy's murders. Is that a coincidence? I don't know.
And how do you believe they mirror each other?
Because he broke into, as Bundy broke into the sorority house and went kind of systematically from person to person to kill him.
Koberger killings brought back a lot of bad memories for them. So the interviews are wonderful, fascinating. Nancy, great job with that. You can
Parallels
watch
of
the full
Evil.
special, Parallels of Evil, the Bundy and Idaho killings. It's available now on foxnation.com. Thank you, Nancy.
Oh my God.
Oh, what was that on again, Lee?
This was on Fox News.
The program.
Yeah, I just yeah, that was on Fox News, but I wrote down I'm gonna research that when I get off here, the Dana Smithers. I knew that they were looking at another case, but I didn't realize that it was that close to the other murders. Now, here's what we do know. If it is found out, if they can prove that Brian Koberger happened to kill this Dana Smithers person, or they think that he may have done it and they want to prosecute him for it, they will not bring charges before little girl. Good grief. They will not bring charges before this trial. Hope it's on YouTube. I can try to find it and send it to you, Lou. God, what a mess. Hold on. Little girl, get down, baby. What was that called? I wrote it down. Let me see. Parallels of Evil. Hey. All right, so it's on Roku. Oh. Yeah, they want me to join it. Y'all, this was done back in 2023. I don't know why I missed it. They've also got it on podcast. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay. Okay. Do you guys want to watch it? It is, well, I'm going to go ahead and play it. And if we could put up our copyright, this is for educational purposes only. This is YouTube Parallels of Evil by Nancy Grace. And I'm going to pull this up. If you have to leave before we get finished watching this, thank you guys so much for coming today and hanging out with us. And we hope that you have found something valuable in this and made your head start thinking in different ways. I appreciate the views that Lizzo has given us to look at. And I think we need to look at both sides of it. Absolutely. All right. I'm going to play this. I hope you guys will stick around. If you can't, I understand. And y'all be good at it. Let's play this and see. I'm interested. Mags, I hope you could stick around, honey.
When you read the headlines out of Idaho, what did you think?
I was really saddened to hear about the news that happened.
Hi, April.
That news brings Cheryl Thomas.
County, Florida.
Oh, don't
It's
spit
then
on
their
me.
unlawfully attempt to kill a human being, to which Cheryl Thomas by beating her about the head.
Back to the darkest moments of her life, the night she was attacked in her own bed by serial killer Ted Bundy.
Good to see you, April. Good to see you,
could
Lulu.
relate. It was a click immediately reaction to
Hiya, girls.
What about it, Karen?
It does bring back that memory
Attempt to kill a human being to wit Karen Chandler.
of shock.
Oh,
Karen
wow.
Pryor, then Chandler, relives those
Thank you,
same
so for putting that
horrors,
out.
barely escaping death at the hands of Ted Bundy.
Even though I experienced it, it's still shocking to think that that could happen, that there'd be somebody that evil that would do something like that. And who could possibly hate people so much that they would do something so, go into a private residence where you feel safe and massacre them.
In the early morning hours, January 15, 1978, Ted Bundy, on the run after escaping prison in Colorado, breaks into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University.
I want to stop it right here just a second. Why is this almost done? Oh, not done listening to it, Nance. Did we only get part of it? Son of a biscuit eater. That's only a minute. You're only giving me a piece, Nancy. Well, let's just go ahead and finish watching it then.
There, he brutally bludgeons 4 college girls, leaving 2, Margaret Bowman and Lisa Levy, dead. 2 more barely clinging to life.
When you read
Damn
the
it. Why can't we
headlines
watch it?
out of Idaho, what did you think?
I thought that was the full thing, but it's not. It's just giving us a teaser. So there it is. You guys can find it. It is on YouTube, Lulu. So you will be able to watch it from there. What? I don't know why it didn't show the whole thing, though. Let me see this, if this will work.
I'm looking as well to see if I can find one.
Yeah, you have to sign into them and they want you to pay a subscription to see them and shit. The thing, this just goes to show you, there is not a type, right? There's a full one is on down. Okay. There's not a type. That's what gets me about this, because Bundy, he was Mr. Charismatic. He wasn't half bad looking. He I mean, he played the scene. He was drinking when it was time to drink, smoking when it was time to smoke, joking when it was time to joke. And then you've got Brian Koberger, who isn't those things at all, but yet capable of the same crimes, allegedly. So you hear people say all the time, wow, I just never saw that coming. They weren't that type of person. And yeah. Let me see. Visit our website, Crime Online. Let's try that. Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. Nancy, we love you so.
Have you got podcasts.apple.com?
No, I don't have anything on here. Let me just put it in the. Oops. Here we go. Parallels of Evil. Let's see if we can get it here. How long is this? That's only a minute 45 too. No, they're going to want me to subscribe to it. And then you have to pay to subscribe on here. Dammies. Let me see. See, Fox News wants you to start streaming too. No, I pay enough. Let's see if I can find it here. Nope. See, these are clips. Probably have to sign into Facebook, and I don't know my shit. Yeah. How long is
They
this?
sent you a picture on WhatsApp of where you can find a link. Oh, fuck off. Oh, come on. How long is this? You guys hear that wind whipping? That's only 6 minutes. Oh, wait. Hold on just a minute, guys. Let me bring this up. This is interesting. Okay, hold on. I want to bring this up real quick. I haven't seen this one either. All right. Can you go? Okay, cool. All right. Look at this one.
The murders. What was everyone at school going through?
It was terrifying.
Nick Trotta and Sydney Clark are students at Washington State University in Pullman, a quick 15-minute drive from the University of Idaho.
The entire culture of WSU and University of Idaho changed. Business slowed down. No one was out. Everybody stayed in.
We didn't used to lock our doors, and it's a really safe place to live. I was so scared that something was going to happen, and I was by myself with nothing, to keep me safe.
That's another very astute comparison between Bundy and Idaho, between Tallahassee and Idaho, because the killer, the alleged killer in Idaho, was on the run. What went through your mind when you came to from your injuries and you knew this guy was still out there?
It was terrifying to me because the police had asked, do you know of anybody who would ever be so upset with you that would hurt you in that way? And I didn't know of anybody, and I didn't know the person that attacked me. Were they going to attack me again?
The fact is, as long as that person's out, I felt like every young woman was at risk, and that was scary.
A possible break in the case of the 4 slain University of Idaho students.
We have information of a white vehicle that was in the area either during the time frame of the homicide or around the time frame of the homicide, and we are just wanting to talk to the individuals who are in that vehicle. They may have some valuable information for us, and we're looking for a 2011 to a 2013 Hyundai Elantra.
The car is the key to the whole case. Ted Bundy, he actually had revamped the inside of his VW Bug to accommodate bringing a body into it, or an unconscious girl, to put her in the passenger part. And that car became the focus of law enforcement. And on the other hand, the white Elantra becomes the focus of a nationwide search.
We have tips coming in. We have investigators out every day interviewing people.
Where was he? Washington State University Police Department on campus noticed a white Elantra in front of the apartment houses and contacted Moscow police and the FBI. They're like, hey, wait a minute. One of the students over here has a white Elantra.
That student?
Bingo, Brian.
Brian Koberger becomes the prime suspect, although he says he will be exonerated. Police learn he trades out his license plate just days after the murders.
I understand the person of interest in Idaho changed his license plate. Ted did have a number of different license plates in his Volkswagen, and I think that was to eliminate a trail.
Did you ever see his Elantra out there?
Yeah.
Shortly after the Moscow murders, Koberger's neighbor, who wants to remain anonymous, says he shared an eerie conversation with the same man, now at the center of the police investigation.
The week after these murders happened, he brought up, he's like, have you heard about these murders?
But to you, he actually says, have you heard about the murders?
Yeah, when we were talking, he said, have you heard about these murders? And I was like, yeah, because it just happened. He's like, yeah, it seems like they don't have any leads. And I was like, yeah, I guess not. And then he's like, yeah, they think it's a crime of passion.
He also tells us his wife was wary of their new neighbor from day one.
She had an intuition about this guy.
I'm telling you, women's intuition, it's real. Did you ask her why?
He was odd, and I just can't put a finger on why. And I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. I can't really put a finger on it. When he first moved here, I was talking to his dad outside first, because his dad was out there. Brian must have been organizing the apartment. He was like, why don't you meet my son, Brian? He has some trouble making friends sometimes. And then he came down, and he was a little odd, but I'm kind of odd to some people, so I didn't think much of it.
What did he like to talk about?
Well, he liked to talk about his major and stuff that he was into, like forensics and stuff.
This guy supposedly knew everything about a crime scene and how killers work and how killers think.
Koberger's interest in crime spans back years. He even worked as a security guard, and in the fall of 2022, applies for an internship at the police department that neighbors Moscow.
Bundy was a law student and eventually passed the bar and walk amongst us and then just morph into a homicidal maniac.
Both Bundy and the current suspect, Brian Koberger, are highly educated and highly articulate.
I have found that an interesting theme. Ted was studying, in law school when he was arrested. One of the worst things that happened to me in my whole career, if not life, was when Ted told me once The reason I was his lawyer for so long is because we were so much alike, and went into the men's room and threw up. And I told him how much that bothered me. And he later explained to me that what he meant was if he hadn't gone down the dark side, he wanted to do what I did. He wanted to be a defense lawyer.
Mm. All right. I looked on YouTube. The only thing I could find is Titanium Built did a live on it, and I don't want to use somebody else's stuff if I don't have to. I think we'll all just take time and watch it on ourselves. I'll watch it tonight, and after I study about the Dana Smithers thing and see what they've got out there on that, try to find a case on it over in Pennsylvania and see what they've got. What was I gonna? Okay, how? I think Bundy remember he got caught 2 times, you guys. He escaped one time. The last time I think it was get rid of this. I think the last time was a girl. The first time was a girl. He was abducting a girl and she got away. But let's go ahead and bring it up and we'll look. What am I looking at? Oh, okay. Okay. Can't see chat, guys. Theodore Robert Bundy was an American serial killer who kidnapped, raped, and murdered dozens of young women and girls during the 1970s. He was nicknamed the campus killer or the lady killer. After more than decades of denials, he confessed to 30 murders committed in various states between 74 and 78. Bundy's MO typically consisted of convincing his target that he was in need of assistance or duping her into believing he was an authority figure. He would then lure his victim to his vehicle, at which he would bludgeon her unconscious, then restrain her with handcuffs before driving his victim to a remote location to be SA'd and then killed. Bundy frequently revisited the bodies of those he abducted, grooming and performing sex acts on the corpses until decomposition and destruction by wild animals made further interactions impossible. He decapitated at least 12 of his victims, keeping their severed heads as mementos in his apartment. Along with the murders, Bundy was also a prolific burglar, and on a few occasions he broke into homes at night and bludgeoned, maimed, strangled, and SA'd his victims in their sleep. In 1975, Bundy was arrested and jailed in Utah for aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault. He then became a suspect in a progressively longer list of unsolved homicides in several states. Facing murder charges in Colorado, Bundy engineered 2 dramatic escapes and committed further assaults in Florida, including 3 murders before being recaptured in 78. For the Florida homicides, he received 3 death sentences in 2 trials. He was executed in the electric chair at Florida State Prison on January the 24th, 1989. Let's go down to how he got caught. Arrest and first trial. On August 16, 1975, Bundy was arrested by Utah Highway Patrol Officer Bob Hayward in Granger and another Salt Lake City suburb. Hayward observed Bundy cruising a residential area in his Volkswagen Beetle during the pre-dawn hours. Oh, another nighttime creep. And fleeing at high speed after seeing the patrol car. He noticed that the Volkswagen's front passenger seat had been removed and placed on the rear seats. and searched the car. He found a ski mask and a second mask fashioned from pantyhose, a crowbar, handcuffs, trash bag, a coil of rope, an ice pick, and other items initially assumed to be burglary tools. Bundy explained that the ski mask was for skiing. He had found the handcuffs in a dumpster, and the rest were common household items. See, each of the things, all right, insert Leanie. Each thing in their own can be explained, but can you explain totality? Back to this. However, Detective Jerry Thompson remembered a similar suspect and car description from the November 1974 DeRanch kidnapping, and Bundy's name from Clover's phone call a month later. In a search of Bundy's apartment, police found a guide to Colorado ski resorts with a check mark by the Wildwood Inn, and a brochure that advertised the Viewmont High School play in Bountiful, where Kent had disappeared. Police did not have sufficient evidence to detain Bundy, so he was released on his own recognizances. He later said that the searchers missed a hidden collection of Polaroid photographs of his victim, which he destroyed after his release. Salt Lake City police placed Bundy on a 24-hour surveillance, and Thompson flew to Seattle with two other detectives to interview Clover. She told them that in the year prior Bundy's move to Utah, she had discovered objects that she couldn't understand in her house and in Bundy's apartment. These items included crutches, a bag of plaster of Paris that he admitted stealing from a medical supply house, and a meat cleaver that was never used for cooking. Additional objects included surgical gloves and an oriental knife in a wooden case that he kept in his glove compartment, and a sack full of women's clothing. Bundy was perpetually in debt, and Clover suspected that he had stolen most everything of significant value that he possessed. When she confronted him over the new TV and stereo, he warned her, "If you tell anybody, I'll break your fucking neck." She said Bundy became very upset whenever she considered cutting her hair, which was long and parted in the middle. She would sometimes awaken in the middle of the night to find him under the bed covers with a flashlight, examining her body. He kept a lug wrench taped halfway up the handle in the trunk of her car, another Volkswagen Beetle, which he often borrowed for protection. The detectives confirmed that Bundy had not been with Clover on any of the nights during which the Pacific Northwest victims had vanished, nor on the day Ott and Nosland were abducted from Lake Sammamish State Park. Shortly thereafter, Clover was interviewed by Seattle homicide detective Kathy McChesney and learned of the existence of Edwards and her brief engagements to Bundy around Christmas 1973. In September, Bundy sold his Volkswagen Beetle to a mid-vol teenager. Utah police impounded it, and FBI technicians dismantled and searched it. They found hairs matching samples obtained from Campbell's body. Later, they also identified hair strands, microscopically indistinguishable from those of Smith and DeRanch. FBI lab specialist Robert Neal concluded that the presence of hair strands in one car matching three different victims who had never met one another would be a coincidence of mind-boggling rarity. On October 2nd, detectives put Bundy into a lineup. DeRanch immediately identified him as Officer Roseland, and witnesses from Bountiful recognized him as the stranger in the Viewmont High School auditorium. There was significant evidence to link him to Kent, whose body had never been found, but more than enough evidence to charge him with aggravated kidnapping and attempted criminal assault in the DeRanch case. Bundy denied knowing DeRanch, but had no alibi. He was freed on $15,000 bail that was paid by his parents, and spent most of his time between indictment and trial in Seattle, living in Clofer's house. Seattle police had insufficient evidence to charge him in the Pacific Northwest murders, but kept him under close surveillance. When Ted and I stepped out onto the porch to go somewhere, Clofer wrote, so many unmarked police cars started up that it sounded like the beginning of the Indy 500. In November, the three principal Bundy investigators, Jerry Thompson from Utah, Robert Capel from Washington, and Michael Fisher from Colorado, met in Aspen, Colorado, and exchanged information with three detectives and prosecutors from 5 states. While officials left the meeting, later referred to as the Aspen Summit, convinced that Bundy was the murderer they sought, they agreed that more hard evidence would be needed before he could be charged with any of the killings. In February 1976, Bundy stood trial for the DeBranch kidnapping. On the advice of his attorney, John O'Connell, he waived his rights to a jury due to the negative publicity surrounding the case. After a 4-day bench trial and a weekend of deliberation, Judge Stuart Hanson Jr. found Bundy guilty of kidnapping and assault. In June, he was sentenced to 15 years in the Utah State Pen. In October, Bundy was found hiding in the bushes in the prison yard and carrying out an escape kit of road maps, airline schedules, and a Social Security card, and spent several weeks in solitary confinement. Later that month, Colorado authorities charged him with Campbell's murder. After a period of resistance, he waived extradition proceedings and was transferred to Aspen in January 77. And then it talks about his escapes. So did it even say? Oh, yeah, because that girl got away, right? I don't know. I was just reading. To read. And he ended up confessing to all this, you guys. So they didn't get it wrong. Good night. Good night, April and Joni. Love you guys so much.
It was me saying good night, Lee.
Oh, you're leaving. Okay.
I said I'll say good night to you all now. I was just waiting to say good night to you, Gail.
I love you, Maggie. Thank you for your help on all of this. I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, what I wish. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night,
Same
Gail.
time,
Good night,
same
everyone.
place.
Same time, same place. It's a date, Gail. Good night. Good night.
Good night, honey. Good night. Lunch Lady said, I think BK's mom had obsession with him. BK wanted to be like him and impress mom. Could be. I'm going to try to find, I want to find that article. I know it was floating around out there for a while. Barbara Smith says she didn't realize Bundy was that perverted. I watched the trial where he actually represented himself. Cocky little motherfucker. I just can't listen. I'm blown away by the Pro Burgers, but I have to tell you, y'all, there were women, even after hearing his story of how he killed these people and what he would do with the bodies and things like that, that still wanted to marry Bundy. I don't remember hearing of groupies that surrounded Dahmer. I mean, I'm sure there were a couple of weird ass freaks out there that maybe did write to Dahmer or found a fascination in what he did. But I mean, there were women outside the courtroom that people, news crews were interviewing, and they were swooning. I mean, swooning over him. Unbelievable. Listen, but it was the time of love. Everybody was high on LSD. You dumb fucks. You see what it does to you? It takes away your good part of your brain that makes you think logically and not think with your hormones raging. Could you imagine your daughter bringing home Ted Bundy? Liza says she doesn't trust anybody who hides in the bushes, those dodgy fuckers. Lulu just wanted to let you know that you missed Dandy again. He was in here and actually chit-chatted it up for a little while. A woman married and had a child with him while he was on death row. Yes, he has a daughter out there. Right. Screw a corpse. Right, Barbara. Like I said, if you didn't know anything about who he was and what he did, he was a charismatic fella, I think the girl who got away from him was because supposedly that's what he had the plaster of Paris, what is it called? Plaster of Paris, something like that. He made his own cast out of it. And I think how he finally got caught the first time was because he asked this girl to help him get to his car with that, that cast on and the crutches, and I guess he couldn't move as quick with the cast on, and she got away. Max Smith is one of those dodgy feckers. Hi, Max Smith. Oh. Same as Richard Ramirez. He had a face like a sucked in mango. And women were crazy. Yes. Women. I mean, I'm telling you guys, stay off of LSD. I don't know. I just know that the 70s was a fucked up generation that had great music. I still listen to the music. They're a fucked up generation because of LSD. My grandpa called it dope. He told me, he's like, all of you kids are hooligans and you're all on dope. And then he would call my mom. He called my mom Emmy. And he was like, Emmy, your hooligans are all on dope. That's what he used to tell her. Y'all, I was only 8. I was only 8 when Grandpa lived with us, and he told my mom I was on dope. I didn't even know what the hell dope was. I just thought those pretty little pink and orange flowers that was like on the dating show. And oh my God, he was on the dating show. What was that dating show called? That's right. Oh my God, some things that come out of my mouth, I surprise myself. What was the dating game? He was on the dating game. I was 8 years old. Grandpa was telling my mother that I was on dope, which was LSD. I thought the flowers were pretty. Yes, we had them on all of our mirrors at the house. The pretty little orange and pink and lime green. Love everybody, the peace signs, all that shit. Grandpa said we was all on dope. I was 8 years old. I took a hit of a cigarette at 8 years old. I did. I found my sister. She was always in trouble for smoking. Man, that girl was in trouble for smoking more than anybody I've ever met in my life. Well, I'd gone out our backyard, and she always smoked with a washer. And it was in like the washer and dryer was like in this enclosed little closet kind of thing. And she would be back in there where you couldn't see her. And homegirl was smoking. Mom and dad were gone, and I caught her. Now, I was the sister. I was the youngest out of all the sisters. I had a little brother, and he was the sweetest pie, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie. That boy did nothing ever wrong. The only thing he ever did wrong was following me into stupid shit I would get him into. But this was the sister I was. If you don't let me do it, I'm telling Mom. I knew everything. Y'all was listening around the corners, getting shit on my sisters, you know? So I walked around the corner. There she is, Dawn, over there smoking that cigarette. I was like, I want to try it. She's like, no, can't try it. Got asthma. You're 8. I was like, so you're trying it? And she's like, no, it's really, really bad for you. It's like, so you're doing it? She's like, you can't. You hear how bad Grandpa is, and then that's how bad you're going to be one day. And I was like, if you don't let me try it, I'm going to tell Mom. I'm going to tell Dad. So the bitch let me try it. Y'all, about coughed up a lung. Thought I was going to die. Thought I was going to die. Seriously. But yeah. He was on the dating game. Hold on. Oh, Bundy. Oh. Okay, hold on. Give me just a second. I'm trying to. Oh, nope, not it. So, wasn't he on the dating game? I could swear he was on the dating game. Oh, maybe that was the other. No, he. This was the other guy who was a serial killer that was on the dating game. He wasn't half bad looking either. Rodney Alcalaz, Twisted Double Life. Wow. What was he? Oh, okay. So this says that I might be thinking of Rodney Alcala. I've never heard of him. I need to go and check him out. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I was wrong about that. I'm sorry for putting out false information. It was Rodney Alcala. Alacala. He just died, you guys, on death row of natural causes. I got caught smoking when I was 7 because I burnt my eyelashes off. You think it was Jeffrey Dahmer? You think he was on it? That was the long hair fellow. Hold on, let me see. Mm. Oh, you guys, it's in 2024. They had Netflix had a show about it. Let's see. All right, so bring this up and then we'll read this and then I will let you guys go. All right, this is the New York Post, you guys, published in October 21st of 2024. A true story of how an active serial killer appeared on The Dating Game. That's him right there. But when he was younger, he wasn't bad looking, I guess. It was supposed to be just another silly episode of The Dating Game. At a taping of the popular TV show in 1978, host Jim Lang introduced 3 male suitors who were there to be cutely questioned by single women. Cheryl Bradshaw sitting on the other side of the partition. She was looking for love in all the wrong places. That's why you don't look for love. You always end up on that side of the street. Nobody does that anymore. The studio lights came up and on long-haired man with a sunken eyes and a wide grin who the audience could see, but Bradshaw could not. Bachelor number 1 is a successful photographer who got his start when his father found him in the dark room at age of 13, fully developed. Ha ha ha. Lang quipped in the sexually charged ABC hit. Between takes, you might find him skydiving or motorbiking, not to be confused with motorboat. Please welcome Rodney Alcala. Skydiving and motorbiking weren't the half of it. Unbeknownst to Lang, Bradshaw, and the game show producers, 35-year-old Alcala was secretly a murderer in the midst of a prolific killing spree across New York, California, and Wyoming. See, he wasn't bad looking. Between 1971 and 1979, he took the lives of at least 8 people, including children and a pregnant woman. But authorities estimate the actual number of his victims to be more than 100. Bradshaw very nearly could have become one. The woman actually chose to go on a date with the monster at the end of the episode. A new movie about Alcala, his grisly crimes, and his unusual TV appearance had its premiere Friday night at the Toronto International Film Festival. Oh, wow, look at them. Called Woman of the Hour and directed by and starring Anna Kendrick, the film should bring renewed attention to the deviant who slayed his many victims during the same decade as Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy, more infamous rampages. When you go back and look at the Dating Game video, what's most fascinating is he had already committed a crime. He AR'd a little girl. Here's a man portraying himself as desirable young man when he is a violent sex predator of children. How did a serial killer wind up on a Good Time national game show? There he is right there, you guys. In the days before the internet, talented background checks were difficult and a basic Google search was impossible. Even so, the husband and wife producing team of Mark and Ellen Metzger disagreed about casting Alcala at first. Ellen thought the man was attractive and charming, but Mike recalled feeling uneasy about the situation. He had a mystique about him that I found uncomfortable. He was overruled though, and Alika made the cut. While the killer's on-air answers to Bradshaw were typical for the double intrid stuff program, they are chilling in retrospect. Oh my God, she said she's going to go on a date with him. Girlfriend. Sweet Anna Kendrick, I love her. I'm serving you for dinner. What are you called and what do you look like? The woman asked. I'm called the Banana and I look good. Pill me, he said. Alika didn't lie during his dating game interview, though. He was a real photographer. What he left out of his biography was that he used his profession to lure unsuspecting women and men into his home, and then he would brutally kill and sometimes R them after the photo shoots. Born in San Antonio, Texas, and raised in Mexico and California, Alcalas is remembered as outgoing and having many friends by those who knew him. These are at least two of his victims. According to the book, The Dating Game Killer, the true story of a dating game show, a violent sociopath and a serial of murders, a professor at UCLA where Alika was once a student told the cops that he wouldn't hurt a fly. See there? Like Bundy, Alika hid his true tendencies with charisma. His earliest known crime was the gruesome assault of an 8-year-old. He abducted the girl outside her temporary family home in Chateau Marmont in 1968 by lying that he was a friend of her parents. At his apartment, he took a picture of her, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to keep reading that. She has survived, and her wait, are we reading about two? Hold on. Okay. The police discovered the girl barely alive. She survived and her family relocated to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, but Alcala escaped out the back door and soon fled to New York, where he applied at NYU under the fake name of John Berger. There he studied film under director Roman Polanski. Oh, wow. That's Sharon Tate's husband, you guys. While living in Manhattan, he arred and murdered a TWA flight attendant, Cornelia Criley, at her apartment on East 83rd Street. Added to the FBI's 10 most wanted list for assault in Shapiro, Alika was spotted and arrested at a camp in New Hampshire and then extradited to California. Despite all that, he was paroled due to an issue with the witness and allowed to leave the state. Back in New York in 1977, he killed Ellen Hoover, the 23-year-old daughter of the owner of Ciro's or Kairos in West Hollywood. One newspaper headline read, "Nightclub heiress goes missing." Her bones were found 11 months later at Winchester near the Rockefeller estate. Alcala's trail of blood intensified in the late 70s. In California, he murdered 18-year-old Jill Barcombe, 27-year-old nurse Georgia Wixt, 31-year-old legal secretary Charlotte Lamb, 21-year-old typist Jill Parento, and 12-year-old Robin Samso. Alcala police learned approached Samso, who was biking to ballet class, with the offer to take her picture. At the 1978 The Dating Game filming, Bradshaw was saved by her own instincts. She said, "Ellen, I can't go out with this guy." Ellen Metzger recalled to 2020. "There's weird vibes that are coming off him. He's very strange. I'm not comfortable. Is that going to be a problem?" Bradshaw decided not to go through with the date, and only 1 year later, Alcala was charged with the death of Samso. He was found guilty in 1980. That verdict was later overturned. The case was retired and then affirmed numerous times, and the killer always remained behind bars. A true extent of the horrors only became known in the beginning of 2003 when investigators started tying Alcala's DNA to unsolved murders. In addition to his death sentence in California, he was given 25 years to life in 2013 for the New York killings. Matt Murphy, former senior deputy district attorney of Orange County, California, subbed up the surreal ordeal on 2020. Looking back, it's chilling to realize that this iconic show celebrating love and romance would unknowingly feature a remorseless killer. Wow. I'm going to have to go watch that too. Let me write that down. There we go. All right, guys, that does it for us. Another almost 3.5 hours. Thank you guys, the ones that stuck around. I appreciate you being here so much. Such a good Wednesday when you guys are all here. I appreciate it so much. Same time, same place tomorrow. The live is already set up. We just got to meet back here. I'm going to go and watch this Nancy Grace thing. I'm going to look up this Dana Smithers thing, and that may be all I get to tonight, but that's probably what we're going to go over tomorrow. I'll see if I can find it. Thank you to the Mad Mods, you guys. You guys give us such a nice, safe, comfy, warm place to hang around, sit around, drink our coffee, tea, and be derelicts of YouTube. I appreciate you guys so much. You never know. You just don't know. Maggie, you're my heart. I love you so much. Thank you for all the help. Big props to Lizzo for really trying to break down this case and see things from a different side to give us something different to think about. I do really, really appreciate that. The people who are members of this channel, thank you so much for helping us pay the bills around here. And to the chatters, without you guys, we don't have a channel. And that's the honest to God truth. I love you all. I thank you all for being here. It's been another great stream. I appreciate you guys. Hell of a lot better than last week. I was off my game. Love you guys so much. If you can't be good at it. Send me some pictures because I need content, y'all. All right. Love you. Bye.